pen, there's recur, there's market size, will people pay for it? There's distribution, customer acquisition cost, CLV, customer lifetime. Guys, I was thinking the product that I was working upon is not one of the best products to work upon at or something. So what I did realize is that it would be way much better to efficiently to pivot or something. Like, yeah, I did create a table. How do you design a table on, like, per se? Let me just open up another edge. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. Let me just what was that noise? How do you create a table on Obsidian? That's such a simple thing to do. Right. Use a pipe to separate the columns. Well, I just need something like this. So yeah, we need okay. Add. Oh yeah, I can just do that. I can just fucking this shit. Yeah. I don't need a city. I don't need age. I don't even need Alice because we are kind of like trying to build a business. So, okay, why am I actually doing this so slow? Backspace, backspace, backspace. Fuck you, Bob. All right. So first of all, here we need not the name. Like, yeah, the idea. So here's the idea. Right now, here we have like the pane, that idea that solves. After that, we have recurrence, or let's call it frequency. Right, we can call it frequency, like how repeatedly that pane occurs. Market size, pocket size, no, not pocket size, market size. So that's market size. And then we have willingness to pay, but we can say payment probability, or PP. So like how likely someone is. Customer, okay, not customer, but not customer. Right, let's just add another one, which is customer acquisition cost. And the thing is, like, we can call this idea for like a simple template, a simple, like, you know, simple template for the like, okay, you won't be able to see it. Sorry, I didn't realize that. A simple template for, yeah. Yeah, I even thought of building a porn website or something. Yeah, because yeah, like the biggest problem with that is like people do not are morally, they are not morally righteous enough to, like, yeah, they have problems with that. Like they would feel like they're doing something bad with their lives or something if they're building that. Like you have to have a degraded moral values like me to actually even start thinking of that, right? And MCC, manufacturing cost, and so yeah, payment probability. It's like PP. Like this is like PPR, customer acquisition. So that's CAC. Let's call this CAC. Like I think this is the valuable. This is like a simple template for the software. This is what matters most for the software, right? Customer acquisition. Like how much money or capital does it take you to? Yeah, and we do need to. I think this is more than good enough. Oh, lights are off. That's why it's suddenly starting to get cold. Like let me just turn on my fan, and when it's get cold, I'll like, yeah. Yeah, there is some business in how to automatically control an AC or something, but it was dependent on another company too, and yeah, it was hardware, and I did realize hardware isn't the best thing. Customer acquisition cost. Like, and then you have distribution. Is it easy to distribute or is it insanely hard? A hardware is like customer acquisition cost and hardware is high, and distribution is kind of hard. You know, because unlike a simple website about related to, let's say, games or something, people do search that repeatedly, but like, yeah, no one searches for an autonomous AC controller or something like, yeah. Distribution matters a lot, right? So we have distribution. Let me just add it. We keep on add it. What? Like, can I not have a plugin? Table plugin, core community plugin, search, browse. Tables. Tables. Control Shift D, that's the... There you are. So we have idea, yeah, so... I guess it wouldn't fit on the page. Okay, where should we make a simple table? ChatGPT, I was trying to build a table on Obsidian, but the problem was that, like, you know, the size of the page becomes small enough because, like, yeah. Actually, yeah, I can actually shift that. Right. So what we can do is, like, yeah, we can actually, like, yeah, advanced table, we can go into community plugin settings. Okay, navigation toolbar. Open, create new table. Advanced, no. No, this is not the thing that we want. Ah, there's advanced table toolbar. Yeah. A to Z. No, 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 no. We need to do what that is. Where is it? Yeah. Must be in a table, right? What do you mean by that? Idea, no. You're gonna get the idea here. Idea, pane, frequency distribution. Yeah, we fucking made it easy. It's simple table. Customer acquisition cost. Alright, we're gonna... Customer acquisition cost. Customer lifetime. Customer lifetime value. CLV, which matters a lot more than you guys think. CLV. Alright. You have to take care in competition too. Manufacturing cost and complexity. So you go with MCC, manufacturing cost and complexity. This is actually how odd it is distribution. We've already got the distribution. Market data. So we got MD. MD matters a lot more than you guys think. Like, so if you already have a market with a lot of data, you fucking have a lot of easy than others. Oh, network effects, feedback loop, yeah. Revenue, okay, yeah. So how much revenue can it, like, yeah, so I think we've already got the... Okay. Okay. Can I not dull them? Dull. Yeah, I can control Z though. Now we don't even need this. Column. Ah, yeah, you can use this shit. Right. MCC, we all have market data, and then we have to, like, feedback. How quick we receive the feedback, how quickly you could get, like, you know, feedback. and how quick we can make money, right? Feedback within months, feedback within day, like yeah, months or something. Like yeah, feedback matters a lot more than the thing. So we need feedback, like which would be act as like feedback. Okay. Speed. But I think yeah, it's not feedback. It's like speed or like because there are some asymmetries. I think everyone chases one market, nobody noticed the other. Some small businesses. Asymmetry, yeah. And now we have to think about in terms of asymmetries that they possess. Right. So do they possess some sort of asymmetries or not? Asymmetries like technology asymmetry, cost asymmetry. Like you produce something much cheaper, distribution asymmetry, speed asymmetry, produce something, information asymmetry. You know something others don't. So first of all, whatever the idea you have, do you have information asymmetry? If you don't have, you have to build one. Information asymmetry. These are asymmetries. Like yeah, so do you have information IA, which you can call? If you have like better the IA, can you speed? Distribution one. Distribution asymmetry, like yeah. So distribution asymmetry, like cost asymmetry, can you produce like yeah, which we call a customer acquisition cost, but like yeah, cost and complexity. So there's like a like this is relatively low because like you do not need to produce anything. Right, technological asymmetry, attention asymmetry. Can you grab like it just comes in the distribution too? Like yeah, is it easy to distribute? How easy does manufacturing cost and complexity? Like yeah, and information asymmetry. You know about something that's don't. Like yeah, something that could learn better than yeah. Okay. Do you have information asymmetry there in the industry or something, right? That's worthwhile goal, but there's a limit. Markets are adaptive systems. Computers react. Customer preferences shift. Regulation change. Some entities reduce a strong abilities to build idea test cheaply and quickly. Test ideas cheaply and quickly. How do you test ideas cheaply and quickly? That is another thing, guys. So yeah, so we have to start with idea. What idea do we have, right? Oh, I don't know, man. Do I even have idea? Like first of all, I don't know. I mean, there is some guy like okay, like yeah, once you pivot strategy, you just don't know again what to build. Like yeah, the what to build is $1 million question, guys. Right? Like that is like literally the $1 million question. They should go to YouTube. That guy also had his own strategy, I guess, that he came up with. Like yeah, people come with crazy strategies, honestly. There's the guy Dari, a CEO. Do dumb shit faster, yeah. Where is that? Where is that guy? Where is that video? Yeah, and he also built a hardware startup, so he also had a
तो
C++.
गाइस मैं 2024
Right, and then we'll just change that to English if there is an English mode. I don't want to keep the quality high. Right, it creates unnecessarily lag. Video unavailable. What? Yeah. The video is restricted. Please check the Google Workspace Administrator or network restrictions. Okay, a video is restricted, but it wasn't restricted till yesterday. Maybe they have something in the video that kind of restricts
तो
it.
गाइस मैं 2024 में एक जॉबलेस बीटेक ग्रेजुएट था, बट आज मैं एक सोलोप्रेन्योर हूँ एंड मैं खुद के प्रोजेक्ट्स बनाता हूँ, वो भी एआई के थ्रू, एंड मैं करंटली अराउंड 4
really
लाख
don't
रुपीस
like
अर्न
his
करता हूँ,
work.
वो भी पर मंथ। प्रूफ के लिए मैं इस पेज को रिफ्रेश करके भी आपको दिखा देता हूँ, क्योंकि इस पे यकीन कर पाना मेरे लिए भी काफ़ी मुश्किल था। एंड गाइस मुझे पता है ये वाली वीडियो 99% लोग पूरी नहीं देखेंगे, बट मुझे आप 1% लोगों की इस वीडियो के थ्रू लाइफ चेंज करनी है। पर आप ये सोच रहे हो, एंड मैंने रिसेंटली 4 लाख रुपीस का मैकबुक M5 Pro विद 64 GB रैम परचेज़ किया है। एंड गाइस मैंने रिसेंटली अपनी ड्रीम कार भी परचेज़ की है। एंड गाइस मेरा ये सब बताना काफ़ी ज़्यादा ज़रूरी था, क्योंकि आपको सिर्फ उसी से एडवाइस लेनी चाहिए जिसने वो काम जो आप करना चाह रहे हो वो ऑलरेडी अचीव कर लिया हो, वरना ऐसी नॉलेज देने वाले तो आपको और भी मिल जाएंगे। बट मैं चाहता हूँ कि आपको ये पता हो कि आप सही जगह आए हो, एंड मैं एक क्रेडिबल पर्सन हूँ आपको गाइड करने के लिए कि आपको अभी इस
He's just convincing you.
क्योंकि मैं भी उसी सिचुएशन में था।
The micro tool website strategy.
मैं एक ओवरव्यू दूंगा कि हमको
Yeah, the micro tool website strategy. So yeah, we can call this MTVS, like micro tool. Micro. All of this is like a software. So you have micro tool strategy. So you build micro tools. That's what this guy does. Like you solve a pain, yes. Right. Frequency, yes, because like these tools are market site, not massive, but good enough. You can say good enough because micro tools are niche something. Payment probability not high, but you can go with ads, right? So you have ads. This guy do with ads / ads, but payment probability ads and payment probability is low, but ads work. Ads work here. Customer acquisition cost fucking low. Like it's just low. The customer acquisition low. It's like there is no customer acquisition. You're just using an AI to build the entire thing. Distribution high. Now why? Because it's a low website. You can use search engine optimization. High due to search engine optimizations. As long as there's like search engine optimization. Customer lifetime value (CLV). Customer lifetime value is low, but ad revenue works. Ad revenue kind of like ad works here. Ad revenue adds up. Ad revenue adds up here. Manufacturing cost and complexity fucking low. Market data we high because these tools work. Because these that's why it's micro tools. Manufacturing cost and complexity low. Market data high. HIGS. Information asymmetry. Well, you do not need much of information asymmetry because but then again you can use ChatGPT to actually gain. So we can use ChatGPT here. Right, to gain information asymmetry over what people do not like the micro tools or something. I could literally go to ChatGPT and ask, okay, ChatGPT, what micro tools are really, really useful? Such as calculator is one of them, that everyone uses at least a couple of times in their lives. And I need to when I'm thinking of building a micro tool website that builds not a micro tool website, but it's when I'm building, maybe I could actually build a micro tool for different people, but I can build a website that has hundreds of different types of micro tool in themselves. I can do both of them, but what I'm pretty much trying to do is build one website for one person. So every industry, every people who actually have something they have they need micro tools like PDF to, let's say if you're in banking systems, you need to convert raw sheets into PDF. There's that's one micro tool, right? You need timer, that's another micro tool. You need clock, that's another micro tool. But then again, no one's gonna pay for it. But and there's there's hundreds of micro tools that people actually constantly use by going onto website or apps or something. So what I'm thinking of doing, not just one, two, but building a lot of them, because building them is really, really easy by using an AI. And yeah, so how many tell me the most used micro tools, whether it's a content creator, whether it's a YouTube, a content creator, whether it's a photographer, whether it's a video editor, whether it's a businessman, whether it's a whether it's someone who's doing interior design, a person from real estate, a person from a person who's studying for an examination, a person who's who's doing a lot job in IT industry, a person who's you do a customer service, a person who build interior, a person who do a podcast, a person who, you get the gist. Tell me hundreds of micro tools that people generally use all the time. I think MicroTool is like very, very like we have porn websites. We can go with porn websites too, you know. Like this was another idea. Like the pain is yes, of course, a lot of people want to watch porn. Frequency is yes, majority of them are addicted. You watch one time, you watch every. Markets are huge, huge, huge. Right, everyone. Like payment probability is once again mid, but then again it's mid to low. Like yeah, low to mid or something. It's like yeah, low to mid. Customer acquisition cost low. Customer lifetime value is like mid, right? Yeah, because they can watch ad and they're binge and they do consistently 1 or 2 hours a day at night or something, and they open up repeatedly. Yeah, distribution low, and the more the new generation is getting more and more addicted to porn and stuff like that, which is a good thing. So we can exploit them too, right? Manufacturing cost and complexity low, right? Market data again high, right? If not extremely high. Information chat, like yeah, we have ChatGPT. Like yeah, ChatGPT, we can use that, like definitely. So we also got like some information asymmetry. It's not definitely means that I have too much asymmetry stacked over each other or something, but you get the gist, don't you? Like let's just see the response and let's just see what else this guy has to say.
गाइस मैं क्या करता हूँ, मैं प्रॉब्लम फाइंड करता हूँ, एंड वो प्रॉब्लम बहुत ही छोटी हो सकती है एंड बहुत ही बड़ी भी हो सकती है, बट हमको स्टार्ट छोटी प्रॉब्लम से करना है. तो मैंने माइक्रो टूल वेबसाइट्स बनाई थी जिनको
So he built it 12 micro tools in a year. That means according to him it takes about 1 month to build it. All right.
बनाने में
But I want millions of dollars. Like I'm not like he earns about a couple $1,000s a month. Like yeah. And he did this for I don't know 1 or 2 or 3 or 1-2 years or something. So we can definitely say that too.
3-4 दिन लगते हैं. एंड ये वेबसाइट रियल प्रॉब्लम्स को सॉल्व करती है. आप बिल्कुल टेंशन मत लो. अगर आपको कुछ चीज़ें समझ में नहीं आ रही हैं तो आगे चल के मैं ये सब चीज़ें क्लियर करने वाला हूँ, वो भी बहुत ही ज़्यादा डिटेल में. अभी बस मैं ओवरव्यू दे रहा हूँ. तो मान लो आपने अगर महीने में एक प्रोजेक्ट ही बना दिया तो आप साल में 12 प्रोजेक्ट्स बना लोगे जो कि रियल वर्ल्ड लाइव एप्लीकेशंस होंगे एंड वो एक डोमेन पे.
Yeah, but it's like realizing what is actually useful. It's like the biggest part is like here in his strategy, like the biggest thing he's talking about is like they're waiting. They have case A, in which case A is like okay, 1 or 2 out of like in a year, just do it for 1 or 2 goes viral, like just like how in YouTube videos, like you build hundreds of them, like not hundreds but 12-13 videos, and 1 or 2 just definitely goes viral, especially when it's a website too, because you are selectively using micro tools that people need, right? So it's a micro tool building strategy. 1 or 2 goes virals that in itself answer a lot of money, and you maintain those 1 or 2. As for the different one, they become a passive source of income with a little bit of money in itself, right? Money, like what's my spelling problem, right? Case B, nothing goes viral, but that's not going to happen as long as you're not stupid enough to know. But a lot of people are stupid enough. Case B, nothing goes viral. You have 12 projects projects a year, and that's like I will say it's a skill to build a website at a fucking insane pace. Skill to build websites at a rapid pace. That's what you get, rapid pace. And I think like according in my case to like ability to understand understand the dynamic of utility itself, of utility itself. That's another thing. But yeah.
होंगे. एंड हाँ गाइस, मैं ऐसा मेथड बताऊंगा जिससे आपकी जो कॉस्ट होगी प्रोजेक्ट्स को लाइव करने की वो बिल्कुल ही जीरो होगी. बस आपको कुछ पैसे डोमेन के लिए देने होंगे क्योंकि उसका कोई ऑल्टरनेटिव नहीं है. एंड गाइस वो बहुत ही छोटा अमाउंट होगा तो उसकी सकते हो. एक की बहुत लिंक करेबल भी चलने लगे तो आप सोचो ने बस एक बार टूल बनाया, दोस्त सालों विन दिखाओ या फिर आपने क्या इम्पैक्ट क्रिएट किया है. तो आपके पास सोचो 12 प्रोजेक्ट्स जो प्रॉब्लम फाइंड करेंगे उसका सोल्यूशन बनाएंगे एंड वो सोल्यूशन एक वेबसाइट होगी. उसको हम लाइव करेंगे एक डोमेन पे, देन उसका हम एसईओ करेंगे. अब एसईओ क्या होता है? तो गाइस एसईओ होता है सर्च इंजन
distribution, search engine optimization. Distribution needs to be high. Like yeah, here distribution, porn website distribution low. No man, high. What the fuck? Why did I type it low? Like yeah, because if you learn search engine optimization, we need to learn search engine optimization. So like that's another skill. If you like yeah we need to learn search engine SEAR at search engine optimization.
इसको हम करेंगे मैं इसकी सारी टिप्स आपको बताऊंगा एंड इसके थ्रू हम गूगल पे टॉप पे रैंक करेंगे। इसका मतलब जब भी कोई बंदा अपनी प्रॉब्लम को सर्च करेगा हमारी वेबसाइट टॉप पे आएगी। इसको करते हैं एंड उस ट्रैफिक को हमारी साइट्स में ऐड लगाते हैं। को कुछ गूगल एडसेंस ट्रिक्स
Yeah,
आपको
but his
बताऊंगा
idea
कि
is
आपको
through ad
टेंशन ही नहीं
revenue,
है।
and here too we like customer lifetime ad revenue, right? They can pay. So we have two things. It's like subscription, right? We can build something good. So like yeah, we can have like a subscription, and we can have like a AdSense. So it's like it works both ways. But a micro tool people don't necessarily pay. They would just shift to different website. That's like the strategy. So you have like two ways of earning. Here you have subscription. Of course, I'm not gonna build a porn website. It's just okay, maybe I will. Who knows? Subscription. Subscription. Yeah, and then you have ad revenue. So like yeah, you have both of the things actually. Subscription. The reason why I said it, I because didn't have confidence that maybe my subscription and you have ad revenue. Ads revenue, not ads. Ad revenue. Revenue. So you have both of the things. If they doesn't pay, you exploit them out of like yeah ad revenue. If they pay, you just exploit them out of subscription, right? You have search engine optimization is not a big deal once you learn it, right? And manufacturing cost and complexity is low once again, but then again like yeah, it's not low to it's low to mid, like yeah, it's low to mid. Market data is like yeah, high. And yeah, you can use ChatGPT to get a lot of information asymmetry and solve a lot of problems and understand how the pawn market in itself works or something, right? Then mid market size is huge, frequency yes, pain yes, right?
सबसे पहले हमको ट्रैफिक बिल्ड करना अपनी वेबसाइट पे। गूगल एडसेंस तो मिल ही जाएगा, वो मैं आपको दिलवा दूंगा, उसकी टेंशन आप मत लो। मैंने ऑलरेडी अराउंड 30 वेबसाइट्स पे गूगल एडसेंस का अप्रूवल ले रखा है एंड गाइज हम गूगल एडसेंस से अर्निंग करनी स्टार्ट कर देंगे। तो गाइज ये सब तो ठीक है हमने
But yeah, oh now ChatGPT must have like yeah, don't think about what tools exist, think what tiny moment frictions happen 100 million times per day, right? Okay, yeah, so yeah, we have that. A micro tool is basically a non-screen solution to one recurring annoyance. Used in less than 30 seconds. No learning curve, solved exactly one problem. Doesn't require sign up. People Google them repeatedly, can be bookmarked. PNG to SVC. Time span control calculator, EMI, compressed PDF, universal tool. So yeah, time, stopwatch, time mark, countdown, Pomodoro, work clock, time zone converter, Unix time store, age calculator, data difference, like business day calculator, meeting overlap, finder, time duration, math calculator, scientific calculator, percentage calculator, discount, GST calculator, profit and loan calculator, compound interest, inflation calculator, currency, unit calculator, fraction ratio, text, work counter, character counter, reading time, case converter, remove duplicate lines, sort alphabetically, reverse text, yeah, JSON format, yeah, format, like blah, blah, blah. Files, PDF, merge, PDF, split, PDF, compress, PDF, or unlock, protect, image to PDF, PDF to, like, yeah, there's a lot of image, resize, crop, background, remove, compress, to PET, color, PKJ, plot, image, circle, yeah. Video, trim, compress, convert MV4 to MOV, GIF maker, video extract, audio, MV3 converter, noise remover, Mr. Silence remover, audio cutter, video, like yeah, tempo developers. Probably the biggest category. UNI generator, GV2 decoder, encoder, generator, QR generator, JSON validator, JSON diff, crop, compressor, SQL formattal, HTML formattal, okay, yes. IP lookup. Designers. Probably the biggest category. Designers. Content creators. Voice detector, readability checker, what kind of AI can do that? Search engine optimization, meta tags, like yeah, marketing. Hence HR, students, GPA calculator, CGA, pay situation, teacher, sales, real estate, internal design, healthcare, fitness, photography, podcast, e-commerce, social media, AI. That accounts every use. YouTube toolbox. We can build a YouTube toolbox. We can have like a thumbnail checker which checks like the validity of the thumbnail and design or something. Right. Like, yeah, the problem every YouTuber has, but no one talks about. The problem every YouTuber has, but no one talks about. Finance, e.g. The market. But YouTuber is already flooded. Okay, YouTuber is already flooded with coders. Developer tools, JSON. Okay, no, developers, you're competing with developers who are building for developers. No one to compete for them. You have student toolbox. Students don't have fucking money. They're poor as fuck. A YouTube toolbox would be used by YouTuber. You can ask for, oh my gosh, this is what they call an idea, bitch. Okay. This should work, right? No, it's not working. How do I add another? How do I add another tab? No. Oh yeah, here, add. I forgot that. YouTube. Toolbox. Right, so now pain, of course yes. Frequency, of course yes. Market size huge, 50 million people. 200 million people. Gonna get more and more and more over time. Like, yeah, payment probability high once they are actually, like, yeah. Customer acquisition cost low again. Distribution high. Right, because yeah, we can, yeah, but this needs search engine optimization, right? Customer lifetime value, mid to high. These people are YouTube mid to high. They fucking pay. YouTubers pay anything that improves their content. Mid to high. And so you have subscription. And after that, you have ad revenue. Right. Like manufacturing cost and complexity, low to mid. So even like, yeah, in some cases high, in some cases like high. Like in not every case, like, yeah, some tools would be high complexity. Right. Market data, of course, high. Fucking everyone knows ChatGPT. You can always get the entirety of like how the market is and what market wants and like from ChatGPT. Like, yeah, you don't even have to become a YouTuber. I am a YouTuber myself, and you know, I do realize how much OBS solves the problem. That's why people constantly use OBS. But how do OBS even learn? Like, not learn. Sorry, I don't know. But yeah, construction toolbox, paint estimator, concrete calculator, nah. Student toolbox, nah. Developer toolbox, nah. Finance toolbox, this is much more harder to. I go there, yeah. So it's like you create a website that constantly have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's hundreds of toolbox. Calculator, expense builder, business name generator. But I think ChatGPT, like YouTuber toolbox would be the best. Majority of the YouTuber do pay a lot of online subscription for different things, and YouTuber toolbox is highly, like, you know, I mean, but then there's a lot of competition too. But yeah, you have student toolbox. Students don't pay. I mean, they would go for the free one. Construction toolbox, construction people, like industry isn't really that much software based, and they don't hardly use that. YouTubers are open to a lot of softwares, open to a lot of things like that. Developer toolbox, you're competing with pros who are actually build a lot of things, right? But then again, I mean, yeah, you can do that too, because AI is building this stuff too, so you can compete with the developers, like, yeah. But I think YouTuber, I also YouTube stream by myself, and I do have some knowledge, and yeah. But at the end of the day, don't worry about the not having knowledge about any industry. I can just collect all the knowledge from any industry from you, using you, and you have pretty much good enough data actually what people need and what people don't need, and I can then check online and what websites actually do these jobs and how well they do, right? So yeah. So what do you think? Like, which toolbox would you go? There's like business operators toolbox, but I don't think so. There's AI operators toolbox. There's social media, like bio generator, character counter, hashing. Like, yeah, social media. Social media toolbox would be also work. Not just like, yeah, which uses Instagram and Snapchat. Like, you know, or not exactly toolbox. Just imagine you have like what they say, LinkedIn, right? People constantly go to LinkedIn, create a profile or something. right? So you can like, yeah, and there are people on X too, and there are people on like, you know, so it's like what the social media does. It's like, it's kind of like tries to solve problem that these people, like, you know, like especially people on Instagram and stuff like that. And there's a big market for that, like big market for people who are actually from normal people to people who are actually like building stuff. So there's a big market, but I think there's already a lot of companies that are targeting that market. So competition is really high. Which is a problem. Competition. Low to mid. Not everyone is making them low to mid. Right, if you get the search engine optimization, then that guy pretty much shows that the Control Z. Low to mid. Pawn website, low. Not a lot of people wants to build a pawn website. YouTube toolbox, high. Social media toolbox, high. Information asymmetry, ChatGPT, of course. Like, yeah, I can actually get this down a little. This is all my information come from ChatGPT, YouTube, and stuff like that. But yeah, I do not have much like information asymmetry about these kind of stuff. Like, yeah, I do have some asymmetry because I've watched pawn websites and stuff like that. I do have some, but I do not generally have an asymmetry in any of these, like information asymmetry. Like in everyone, I would say it's like a low. Like low. Like, yeah, mid. Actually, I've watched pawn in the past too for a long time, so I have mid information asymmetry, not high. YouTube toolbox, low to mid. Right, low to mid. And social media team, very low, because I've never been on social media for decades now. But then again, for that I also have to have download Instagram, Snapchat, and all that different kind of apps too. Market data, high. All right. Manufacturing cost and complexity, low to mid. In fact, this could actually read because like, yeah, high, low to mid. And even high too, just like, yeah, it can, social media toolbox can reach high too, right? See, okay, Control Z. Control V. Customer lifetime value, high, mid to high. Distribution, high. A lot of people are searching. Mr. Meeson is like mid to high. Why? Because you're competing with a lot of people who already, like here in this industry, people. Yeah, there's a lot of competition and there's hardly any moats. Mid to high. All right. So mid to high, because there's a lot of competition. I mean, like, I don't even know at this point. It's like, is it a worthwhile strategy or not? Because like the competition is high. You can't deny that. Customer acquisition cost, low. Payment probability, high. Like, yeah, really high. Market, once again, huge. All right. This is even huger than YouTube one. Don't trust me. Everyone is on Instagram. Frequency, yes. Pain, yes. Frequency, oh yeah. Pain is like, pain, how big is the pain? Pain is actually just low, but there is constant low pain. Pain is mid. Pain is high. High. Frequency, low. That's why, like, yeah, you can never ask them for mid. 2 or 3 times a week is mid frequency. Fucking high. In fact, I would call this very high. Pain, very high. Everyone wants this shit. Everyone is on social media. At least at some form of social media. There are more people on social media who want a couple of things than, yeah. Payment probability is also very high. But I guess YouTuber tends to pay more. YouTuber tends to pay more. YouTuber, because they are open to this concept of paying to actually get more views. Like, they are open, so they're high to very high. YouTuber pay more. Payment probability, like high to very high. Customer acquisition cost, low to mid. You know, low to mid. Distribution, right. Subscription and ad revenue, same thing. You can have subscriptions, and if someone, like, yeah, you can have subscription and ad revenue. Control Z, actually, what the fuck I'm doing? Control V, Control Z, Control C, Control V. All right, so you have subscription and that. Right. I think creating social media seems a bare much, but like, yeah, competition is fucking huge. Competition is fucking huge.
ने ओवरव्यू तो ले लिया कि हम क्या करने वाले हैं, बट करना कैसे है अब मैं आपको ये बताता हूँ। तो बेसिकली हम एआई से सारी कोडिंग करवाएंगे, हमें कोडिंग नॉलेज होने की ज़रूरत नहीं है। एंड गाइस 2026 में अगर आप खुद से
Astro for searching. Astro for search. Demiser. The market is still catching up. Now we have to have moat. AT. Moat is like what man. Moat is like what protects you from being copied by the competitors. Right. And I think this would go up. Right. So moat is like, okay, like you have competition, like high. When you have like a high competition, I guess moats tends to be a little less than, yeah. So moat here is, okay, there's no moat, nothing, no moat. Here, pawn websites, you have high moat. Now you'll say, no, actually medium moat. Now you'll say, okay, Varric, why? Because it's unethical. So even if unethical, like it doesn't, sorry, I don't know. Unethical. Like it's unethical. That's why people have a hard time rationalizing themselves, become a producer of a pawn website, right? I mean, we are analyzing, so I would say mid to high. That's why it takes years for the pawn. Like, yeah, in normal, especially when it comes to manga, manhwa, pawn, and that kind of like website. Like, yeah, I've watched those kind of pawns in the past too, so I know. Moats, almost nothing. Like, yeah, no moats. Like, literally no moats. No. The mode would be users and first mover advantage at best. So it's like low to no, so no to low. That is like all the mode is. Like, yeah. The other people would copy, but like the real mode is like what they call like first mover advantage. First mover advantage. FMD. Like, yeah. So we only have first mover advantage. Or like, yeah, so we know that, okay, because yeah, AI, we are using AI, building better, and yeah, we do need to actually build modes. Like I said, without mode, it's going to be hard. So we need to build them, required. So we need to build the mode. So like, yeah, rather than FMD, like first mover advantage, we can say build. Yeah, that's the only thing we can do. Like, yeah, we can build it. Here we can never build a mode. Like a micro tool, we can never build a mode. Control Z actually. Control V. Right, so so FMD first mover advantage. And I think there's like, yeah, we are not the first in this industry. Let's be honest. Who we are kidding? We are not the first. Millions of people are eyeing this market. Not millions, but yeah, thousands of people are eyeing this market and actually trying to build something for this market, honestly. Build it. We have to build a mode by ourselves. Something that actually makes the people stick. The real thing about this layer though.
से कोड कर रहे हो तो उसका कोई फ़ायदा नहीं है, क्योंकि जो वेबसाइट आप एआई से 4 दिन में बना लोगे, वही वेबसाइट खुद से कोड करोगे तो 1 महीना लग जाएगा। एंड गाइस,
That's true. We need to know what software do people are building. We need to know that. SaaS business. I tried building SaaS for
very concerning if you're a software megacorporation that relies on the SaaS business model. The model where your customer never really owns your React app, but instead rents the privilege to click buttons forever at an 80% profit margin. Adobe, Salesforce, ServiceNow, Shopify, and many other companies collectively saw $1 trillion wiped off their market cap over the past few weeks. But the big question is why? You probably already know the answer. It's not interest rates or accounting fraud, it's AI. The suits just realized that if an AI agent can slop out the work of 10 people in 10 milliseconds, they don't need to buy 10 seats. they need 0. In today's video, we'll look at 7 recent developments in the AI space that support the thesis that software as a service is headed towards a death spiral. It is February 17th, 2026, and you're watching the Code Report. Last week, OpenAI released the Codex app for Mac OS, which they describe as a command center for agents. The app itself had over 1 million downloads in its first week, and it provides a simple way to handle agentic workflows in parallel that anyone can use. And what makes that so scary is that it means your boss no longer needs to ask you, the developer, to build an app, but instead can build the app himself and then just ask you to debug the 10,000 lines of code it generated. But behind OpenAI's Codex app is the second thing you need to know about: the Codex 5.3 model. Not only is it their most advanced coding model yet,
In software, the mode is decaying then?
concerning if you're a software developer, and very concerning if you're a software mega.
If in software the mode is decreasing, then but that guy still earns money, right?
Corporation that relies on the SaaS business model. The
Yeah, because they in future market would soon enough adapt, and everyone would rather than build software themselves. That means the mode will vanish in a couple of years. That's a problem.
model where your customer
That's why
never
shipping
really
fast
owns
would be better. Oh my gosh.
your React app, but instead rents the privilege to click buttons forever at an 80% to build an app, but in model. Not only is it their most advanced coding model yet that crushes the Trust Me Bro benchmarks, but it's also 25% faster than previous versions. And it's also able to integrate skills now that allow it to do things like image generation, writing, and research to handle the full girth of responsibilities by a product development team. That's impressive, but OpenAI's biggest rival in the coding space is Claude, which just released Opus 4.6. Not only is it excellent at generating code, but now Anthropic is trying to break into other areas like legal analysis, financial modeling, and a bunch of other things that they'll use to justify expensive enterprise subscriptions. But the big Silicon
How about I build a game? I know a lot about human psychology and how humans are constantly trying to reduce uncertainty, and I know what games would be addictive and what games would not be addictive at all. How about I do that? Yeah, I have an insane asymmetry understanding humans and their addiction. I have been addicted for decades. I can build a game, but building a game like a 2D like a game like that. But game development takes years, if not months.
Silicon Valley closed models are not the only thing making progress. Alibaba just released Qwen 3 Coder Next, which is an open
Because if I like, what asymmetry do I have also matters, right? I mean, for example, I'm not on YouTube, I've not been on chronically active on social media, and I don't know, but I can contact my brother Saqib and to ask him what are the problems and stuff like that. So I can on YouTube Toolbox, I can just pretty much scrape data from online porn website. I've been on this market and I've watched porn in the past, especially like hentai or something like that. So I do know what people need and not need to some degree. Though I'm not an expert at it, but still there is some information asymmetry that I have there. Microtool, right? This is something that anyone can do. But the point is that guy's idea is pretty great.
weight, highly capable coding model that gives companies the ability to host their own serious developer brain behind a firewall. And
But do I want millions of dollars? If I want millions of dollars, how
that
about
kills
building a
another
game?
SaaS advantage, vendor lock-in, because why rent 5 different dev tools at $49 per month when you can self-host your own brain that rebuilds them all from scratch for free? That's a no-brainer, but another big release comes from ZAI with GLM-5. It's a model that targets complex systems engineering and long-horizon agentic jobs, and its performance approaches and sometimes beats the best closed models in the industry. But it's not the only open model challenger. Minimax M2.5 has been going viral the last couple days because it also manages intelligence on par with frontier models at a fraction of the compute price. We're getting very close to the point of making these $200 AI plans obsolete because models like M2.5 are making top-tier reasoning feel cheap, portable, and increasingly open to anyone with a decent GPU, instead of a corporate expense account. It's pretty clear that none of these AI companies have much of a moat, and the real battle being fought right now is who can build the best platform for autonomous code orchestration. And Microsoft wants to be the company that wins that battle with their GitHub Agent HQ. GitHub was originally designed just for code hosting, but now it's a complete AI agent orchestration platform. Agents can open issues, generate branches, and merge code when tests pass. It's project management, QA, and DevOps automation all rolled into one. But what about Google? They've been relatively quiet with Gemini releases lately. However, Waymo, their self-driving car company, just released the Waymo World model, which is all about simulation and prediction at scale. It demonstrates how AI systems can model complex environments, make decisions, and act autonomously. But the thing is, when you translate that into business software, like forecasting, logistics, risk modeling, and operations, it starts to make a lot of traditional SaaS dashboards that visualize these things look obsolete. And with that, we've looked at 7 new developments in AI with one theme. When intelligence becomes abundant, software stops charging per human. And when the seat dies, so does the SaaS profit margin. But even if SaaS dies, there will be new opportunities for developers who know how to use modern tools like Oz by Warp, the sponsor of today's video. Warp already brought you a modern terminal, and they just launched Oz, a cloud platform for coding agents. So instead of being stuck with one agent on your local machine, Oz lets you run hundreds of them in the cloud, where they can make changes across multiple repos simultaneously. That means you could have one agent fixing a bug from Linear, another one updating docs from a pull request, and a third one scanning logs from a Grafana alert, all running at the same time. You can quickly launch new agents from the Oz web app or CLI, or set them up on schedules and event triggers. Once they're live, you can watch them work and steer things as needed. Try running your own agent today at the link below and use the code FIRESHIP for a special discount. This has been the Code Report. Thanks for...
Yeah, the code report says the SaaS business is not working.
SaaS, software as a service. I'm going to take 5.
The SaaS industry is booming, with revenues projected to hit over $200 billion by 2025. The future, it's in businesses with recurring revenue.
Satya Nadella, thank you so much for doing this. I want to be very, very respectful of your time. The first question is, the internet is abuzz with conversation of Satya Nadella said that SaaS is dead. Now I know, that's not exactly what you said, and the internet has lost nuance over time. But I'd love for you to tell me how that shift happens from SaaS all the way to agents.
Yeah, I mean, to me, whenever there's been a real platform shift,
I met a guy who has the perfect strategy for finding micro SaaS ideas.
I think anyone can build a business like mine.
And with this simple strategy, he's been able to build a pretty successful business.
Today,
I met a guy who has the perfect strategy for finding micro SaaS ideas.
I think anyone can build a business like mine.
And with this simple strategy, okay, so immediately, thank you for sharing that. I mean, I just love this strategy. Taking a big idea, building a really small version of it, maybe even...
Let's start working on Uform.
Okay, I mean, you just talked about it right there. You called it finding the gap. What do you mean exactly by that?
Finding the gap is something where you can, take something which is already working, people are using it, but there are some gaps, like some pain points people are not finding with the current competitors. If you can fill that gap, you can definitely get users. I think like most of our developers think most of the ideas or most of things have already built in the market, right? But there is always a gap.
Thank you for sharing that. I mean, I just love this strategy. Taking a big idea, building a really small version of it, maybe even undercutting the prices, building other features. Tell me about why you think other people watching this should adopt this approach as well.
In my opinion, the best approach to build a SaaS is you should not invent things. As an indie hacker, as a bootstrap, you can't create the next Uber. You can't create the next Facebook. You need a lot of money for that. You need VC funding. In fact, you should approach the market which is already validated. Like there are already big players there. So people are actually using it, and then just find the gap.
Okay, let's take a deeper dive into the finding the gap strategy. Can you break down?
So what what they're pretty much saying is like, go with just like how I did, build a lot of micro tools. That's one strategy that guy was working, and how much he's making 10K a month. That is about in India, that's 9 lakhs a month or something. So like, yeah, so that's what he's doing. Man, businesses. I'm stuck at $0, man. I'm stuck at $0. I'm stuck at no money, guys. I'm stuck with no money. I also want to make money.
This strategy so that someone watching could think about how they could do something similar?
the idea is simple. Step one, you look for a popular tool and search social platforms like Twitter and Reddit with keywords like X alternative, where X is basically the product with lots of users. So for in my case, it was Typeform. Then step two, find the pain points or gaps which they are not solving. It is fine if the pain point is pricing, but only if pricing is too high. Then step three, reach out to those users with your solution with just a basic landing page explaining your solution. So messaging is the key here. And bonus point, step four, have
That's how we advertise it.
a tool to simply easily migrate your competitor's user to your platform with a one click. In Uform, we have a landing page where you can paste your Typeform URL and it will generate a Uform within a few seconds. So people can see like, okay, this is what we are getting in Uform.
Okay, cool. So, I mean, that's an awesome strategy. You're a busy founder. You don't have time to go build other things, but people watching this might be wondering, okay, how can I do this strategy right now? What are the big $100 million companies out there that I can kind of go do the same thing you did? So what would be your advice or ideas you have around that?
Yeah, so there are lots of opportunities there which I would love to build, but I don't have time to do. Two of them which I can state right away. One is Canny Alternative. This is my personal pain point I have faced because we are a small startup and Canny has recently trying to go up market. So I searched for a lot of Canny alternatives in the market, but none as simple as Canny. Apart from that, there is a one gap that I found recently. This is an app where you can build your forest, the digital forest, by doing some habits. And why you should build an alternative right now is if you search with the latest reviews there, most of them are 1 star. I think these are the things that you should do, but you will find that there are people who say that, okay, Facebook is crap, I don't want to go there, but definitely don't build things like a social media and marketplace or something. That is something that as an indie hacker, you should always stay away.
All right, before we wrap up with Abhishek's story, I wanted to pop in with a question. What do you want to build? No, seriously, what project?
The truth about SaaS, the key matrix.
One right here, and this is stagetimer.io.
Let's take a market. I really don't know.
गाइस AI से कोड हम करवाएंगे एस्ट्रो.
So SaaS is there saying SaaS would
Blockchain,
vanish?
and I will.
Like, do SaaS would vanish? Why would SaaS would vanish? If the product market takes time to adapt to,
It will take years before everyone becomes a coder and before everyone starts building their own SaaS. But yeah, there's Shopify too, building tubes for Shopify. A lot of people are working in Shopify, which to me, automation, the ugly truth.
Building automation systems, and I'm going to tell you why learning automation in 2026 is probably one of the worst career moves that I think you can make. Before you click off this video, hear me out. I run an automation agency called LeftClick. We have worked with everything from local businesses that make 10 grand a month to 8-figure investment firms, and recently a multi-billion-dollar portfolio company. I've also spoken alongside some of the biggest people in business today, like Alex Hormozi and Sam Evans. And to top it off, I run the largest AI community on Skool by revenue, which just means I get a ton of visibility into how automation systems are being sold today and the way things are going. So you probably heard some rumblings about this, so let me make it clear. The skill that has made all of us a lot of money over the course of the last couple of years is well on the verge of becoming worthless. I think that there are a select few that are positioning themselves for what is coming next.
To be a big enough idea to reach $100 million. So the first job of your founding team is to validate the idea that you've come up with. It's going to be a big enough idea to reach $100 million. So the first job of your founding team is to validate the idea that you've come up with. So between In September, I got on a plane and I flew to San Francisco, and I networked with dozens of engineers, and I had Zoom calls with hundreds. And I sat down with 2 engineers specifically, which was Aria and Sam. They had deep technical expertise, they were obsessive about product, and were as convinced as I was that AI search was going to be one of the most important spaces built in the next 5 years. You really need to first understand the 3 main skills a founding team requires in order to build something that can scale. So number 1 would be UX and design. So someone who understands the product. And right now, it's very easy to vibe code a basic product. But all this does is lead to a lot of products that look identical. So this person's role, therefore, is to be the innovative driver and for them to take ownership of the whole product experience and the value that the customer gets. And yes, they can use Claude Code or they can use Lovable or whatever, but they have to really make a product and design experience that delivers value to that customer. So number 2 is deep engineering experience. And this person takes the final ownership over the actual build and the architecture and is responsible for making the product real. The third skill you need truly is sales and marketing. And this person is the front man for the business. They're the owner of distribution, the story, and they become the growth engine for the company. So within that, you're going to have some overlap, of course. You will work on the same things, but this gives you each a space to own yourselves. And between the 3 of us at Searchable, all of those bases were covered. Ari and Sam on the technical and product side, and me focused on leading the business, having the vision, and focusing on the distribution. And the real advantage comes when everyone shares the same mindset. A strong interest in technology, a bias towards speed, and then the ability to use AI to increase your output. And this isn't a new model, it's how some of the biggest tech companies ever have been built. If you look at Zuckerberg and Facebook, he started it with his college roommates. And even when you look at companies like Apple, you had Steve Jobs and you had Steve Wozniak, and then later they brought in Mike to lead the commercial side of the business. So neither of those companies, and many of the companies that you see growing, don't start with a single founder. They start with a shared vision in a small team of people who want to build a great company. And if you want to build a fast-growing company, you will need to do the same thing. So you don't need to be extreme as I was here. You don't need to fly to San Francisco. Your founding team could genuinely be in your network, or even your colleagues. But once you've got your founding team in place, this next phase will decide if your idea is going to be a... So the first job of your founding team is to validate the idea that you've come up with. So between you and your co-founders, you've probably got the right skill set to build almost anything. So don't get tied down to one vision if there's no proof that it's actually going to work. So there are 2 parts to this validating the idea process. The first is assessing whether the idea is possible, and the second is working out if people even want it. So over the years, I've developed a framework called Code, which specifically is built to validate business ideas and help founders to choose the ones that they should commit their time to. So the first part of Code is consumer trends. So I want you to study where consumer behavior, where technology and demand are shifting right now. And the aim is to spot what I call a rising tide. The core reason for starting Searchable is that we notice that when people are searching for a product or service, they are no longer Googling it. They are going to ChatGPT and trying to find a business or a service that can help them with their problem. And so for us, that was a huge consumer change, a massive change in how people search for products, services, and businesses. You need to read every industry report, forum threads, and LinkedIn comment sections. And what you're looking for is a large number of people who are experiencing the same problems at the same time. And when you find that, you move on to the second step, which is opportunity. So finding a rising tide isn't the hardest part. The trick is to locate a specific opportunity within that trend. So you're looking for overlap where the trend is heading and a problem that hasn't been addressed yet. So for us, the answer became clear very quickly. We knew people were moving towards ChatGPT for their answers. So we knew that what we had to do was create a specific tool that made customer acquisition for businesses possible within ChatGPT and AI. So once you know there's an opportunity, figure out if there's demand, which is the third step of code. The way I did this was I spent 6 hours a day for a month reading everything I could find about AI search. Every forum thread, every LinkedIn post, every comment section, every subreddit where founders and marketers were talking about it. And by the end of that, I didn't need a survey to prove the demand was there. It was so obvious. Wherever I looked, people were asking the same questions constantly and no one had a clear answer. So what you're looking for is a conversation that's already happening. If a large community of target customers already complain about a problem, then that is active demand. And when active demand exists, you just need to insert your product into the conversation that's already happening. And that makes building a business so much easier. One of the biggest mistakes that founders make
Website searchable too. Okay, ChatGPT, what is this website searchable to? You know, could you tell me that? Like, yeah, there's a founder who makes millions of dollars through this website. What do they, like, yeah, what is this website does searchable? Ah, Track AI mentions.
is they say there are no competitors for my product. Whereas in reality, what I want to see is a business where there are lots of previous businesses solving the same problem, but doing it with traditional methods. So for example, SEO tools exist and bill hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. And so building an AEO tool has validation that there is already budget in that space. The final question that most founders overlook, but this will determine the scale you can grow your business to, is economic sizing. And this is a very simple equation. It's total potential customers times by total customer spend, which gives you total addressable market. You want to avoid small markets, as you will need to completely dominate in those spaces to make good money. Instead, I want you to focus on big markets where you only need to capture a few % to build a big business. So here's how the maths worked for my last startup that was in the care home space. First, I Googled how many care homes there were in the UK and the US, and Google says 58,000. Next, I Googled how much does an individual care home pay per month in software costs, and I learned they roughly pay $2,000 to $5,000. So let's call it $3,000 a month to be conservative, or $36,000 a year. So I then plug it into my economic sizing formula. 58,000 care homes times $36,000 a year equals a multi-billion-dollar opportunity. So now that we've been through each step of code, Aria, Sam and I were very confident that we had an idea that people needed and they wanted, and it was big enough. And as soon as we knew there was demand for the idea, we started building. And the thing that most founders will get completely backwards is building a product in silence for months without driving awareness or testing their idea. And they'll wonder why the demand is so low when they finally launch the product. So instead, I want you to build an audience before you build the product. It's exactly what we did at Searchable, and is the single best approach for proving you have an idea that people actually want. So the way you're going to want to do this is with a waitlist. A waitlist costs almost nothing to set up, but it gives you real people with real intent putting their hand up and giving you their contact details, which is so valuable for later down the line when you launch. But launching this is going to be the first test of whether the code assessment for your business is actually accurate. So truthfully, if you can't get 200 people onto a waitlist, you're going to really struggle to sell anyone later on. So while Aria and Sam and I were heads down working on the Searchable product, I was doing something that, to be fair, from the outside, didn't look like I was building a product. Every day from about October onwards, I started putting out content about AI search, teaching people about it and explaining how their business could win in AI search. Importantly, I wasn't trying to sell our tool. I wasn't selling in AI search. Importantly, I wasn't trying to sell our tool. I wasn't selling hard to the audience. I just shared genuinely valuable educational content that people found useful for their businesses at the time. And at the bottom of every piece of content, we put one single line: sign up to be the first to know when our business launches. So what happens next is a thing I want you to really understand, because it explains why the waitlist is so powerful for a business launch. You see, if you're trying to sell to people organically on social media, a good result, like a good outcome for you, would be 2 to 5% of people signing up to the product. But the reality is that is a terrible conversion rate. If you offer a waitlist with no financial commitment, the barrier to entry is their name and their email address, which in 2026 people are happily able to give you. And so the percentage of people who sign up is dramatically higher. It's 50, 60, sometimes 70% of people. So by the time you come around to actually launching your product, you could have thousands of people who have put their hand up and said they want access to your tool when it launches. So you're probably thinking this only works if you have a large following, but it is simply not true. The principle works at any size. Whether you've got 100 followers or 100,000 followers, the mechanism is identical. You create useful, organic content to educate your ideal customer profile on the problem that your product actually solves for them. You give them a reason to follow you, and then you capture their intent before you ask them to spend any money. But this whole section will be a waste of time and effort if you don't perfect the next and most important step. So
LinkedIn. That's why you go on LinkedIn, because the chances of landing an access, like chances of finding, like, there's market for each, you need to, and then there's waitlist too. It's like, I'm building this, like what are your ideas? YouTube and Instagram are becoming like a hellhole for it's time for the lunch, but they're becoming like a hellhole for for consumption, right? So like people on Instagram are just going for consumption at this point, but in LinkedIn or places like that, people are looking for opportunities, people are looking for valuable services and something like that. That's why LinkedIn and X works out, I guess, far much better than the traditional. I just love seeing my own muscle for some reason. Who doesn't?
In the early days, it's very easy to get carried away and build your entire product. But if you do that, you honestly can spend 6 months building features that nobody has asked for and nobody will use. So instead, you need to do this. You want to build one feature for one ideal client that solves one specific problem. That's your MVP, your minimal viable product. Not a whole product or a platform, just one thing that provides value to your customer. I learned this lesson the hard way and was actually saved by one of my investors, Tom Blomfield, who's the founder of Monzo. We were months into building Lottie and he came to us, we asked him for investment and he said he wouldn't invest in the current business, but if we could launch our MVP of our care home marketplace in 2 weeks, he would give us £100,000. And so we went home that night and thought to ourselves, we're gonna have to strip this down to the most basic version to get this thing live and secure this investment. But it was the best lesson that we ever learned because we focused on the one specific part of the product that we knew customers were interested in, and we just built that. And every day after that, do you know what happened? Our customers told us what they wanted us to build next, with feedback every single day. So now if we jump back to Searchable, the business I'm building today, Aria and Sam and I, we were in London in November and we asked ourselves the same question. The same question Tom had asked me years before. What is the one thing that we can build right now that proves this idea works? And the answer was prompt tracking, a tool that would scan the major AI platforms, ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, and show businesses exactly where and how often they were being mentioned in the AI answers. So once you're in this position, I want you to be really honest with what you and your founders can get live right now. Not in 2 months, not in 3 months, but right now. Make it deliberately, almost aggressively simple. The goal of the MVP isn't to impress hundreds of people, but it's to give customers something to try and to get them to tell you what you should build next. And if they use what you've built and they start asking for more, that is the perfect signal. And you can use that feedback now to create the rest of your product roadmap. So now you're at a point where you can effectively launch your business, but this next step will define its success and you can't rush this. So mid-December, Sam and Aria and I were sitting there, and for the first time we opened Searchable up to a larger selection of people from our waitlist, and we gave them an early access deal, which was a lifetime discount of 50%. So at this point, it's not so much about the money, it's about getting early product champions into the product, using it every day and giving you feedback every single day on what they would improve. So every single day throughout December, we were collecting feedback. We were asking what was working, what was confusing, what was broken, what was missing, what we could build more of. And what you're trying to do here is build a feedback flywheel. So the faster that the product actually improves, the more confident your early users become that this feedback is something that they would pay for and that they should tell their friends about this. And the more confident you become in your own product. So to make that flywheel spin even faster, we then launched a Slack community. And this became a place where everyone who was using Searchable could talk to each other, to share what they were seeing, to ask questions, to post feedback, and learn from the product and learn from us about this new space. So on top of this, I was spending, honestly, 10 hours a day on calls with our current users to understand what they wanted and what wasn't working. And then Sam and Aria would work throughout the night on fixing the issues and building new parts of the product. So at this stage, Searchable is improving rapidly.
I need co-founder. Is that what this guy's saying? Like, the idea pretty much does hit me. Like, yeah, that co-founder do works. Right, because co-founders, right? So like the idea of micro, if you're trying to build something myself, the idea of micro tool works, but the co-founder idea is pretty good. It's like you can scale pretty efficiently because you can build something and then have it scale because there's someone who's actually distributing it out there, maybe on LinkedIn, maybe on some different platform or profile or something like that, and they're learning and understanding that thing too, as long as they're not stupid enough or something, right? And so they are kind of optimizing that. So if you do find someone who's kind of smart enough or something.
Feedback loop is in full effect, and our job now is to reach new customers, to actually scale the amount of people using the product. So I've seen so many technical founders obsessively focus on the product itself and almost bolt-on marketing afterwards when it's time to launch. But that puts so much unnecessary pressure on the launch week. And a content machine mitigates that risk and is made up of 3 fundamental layers that
Shall I have like a 10% equity? Like, how do you have fairness or something? But I think people won't work for you if you can't pay them or something. Damn. I don't know at this point.
work together. So the first layer is one that founders either underestimate or avoid entirely, but it's something I've seen incredible benefit from over the past 4 years, which is founder-led content. Posting consistently on platforms like LinkedIn builds trust, it attracts your ideal customer, and it builds an interested audience. And the reason this works so well is that people are far more willing to engage with someone's perspective rather than a brand. So a founder talking honestly about the problem they're solving, the mistakes they've made, and what they've learned, that is something that people are willing to engage with. That's what people share, what people screenshot, and what people come back to. And the best part, by the time they find your product, they already know who you are, they already trust your thinking, and the sale is already halfway done. So for Searchable, our ideal customers are founders, marketing managers, and agencies. So every piece of content that I put out is built around problems that they are trying to solve. How they grow their brand, how to think about AI search, how to reach customers who are completely changing their behavior. And that means that every post, every video, every cheat sheet is designed to reach this audience and position Searchable as the perfect solution.
So this is like distribution and stuff, and then you have UX UI design, that means you're launching the system, and then you have so many different kind of stuffs happening simultaneously.
The best part is that any organic content that you put out that performs well and drives.
Yeah, so he's pretty much saying distribution. Right, Google, like, yeah, search engine optimization is not enough. I think you do need to have, right now, that what I am realizing, you need to have like some sort of a content creation or something. Like, yeah, if you must have either uploaded on YouTube, either go on LinkedIn or something, or maybe you create content videos or something about the product that you're actually building on or something, or teach people or educate about themselves with those things and actually attract people who sign up for it. And if they sign up, you know that there's some demand or something, constantly upload on LinkedIn and stuff like that. So yeah, you have YouTube toolbox, you have social media toolbox, but then again, you have to have distribution. Like, yeah, distribution, you have to learn distribution. It's not like distribution are easy or hard. Like, yeah, a lot of people do search for these kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, yeah, man,
drives people to your product, you can then boost later on with paid adverts. So you're testing whether your paid ad strategy works before you're even running ads. So the second layer is GTM. You need to get a motion going where you're reaching out to people from your waitlist and you're introducing your business to them. You're giving them a
I think you start small and then you build up from there too, I suppose.
chance to book a free 30-minute consultation and a product demo with them.
Deliver a unique value proposition.
And these warm.
Yeah, my expectations are like, I'll get in the picture, I'll start building big stuff or something, right? And something like that. But you get in industry and then you start small, right? You never start with building something big or something. You start small and you get in an industry that is kind of like advantageous. Like this guy does like AI, like, you know, search optimization or something. Like, yeah, but then again, yeah, that would be hard to build. I can just pretty much imagine it. Like, how do they even build such a thing like that, man? That would be insanely hard.
Prospects who come to you through lead magnets and content, they'll be the lowest friction clients because you've already delivered them some value and they've already committed a certain level of trust to you. And once that's in motion, you can lay
how you capture trust or something like that. So they're also talking about building a personal brand.
In cold outreach. And this has to be highly personalized, value first, and aimed at prospects who are perfect for your business. So instead of leading with, hey, would you like a demo? You should offer to diagnose something for them. So try this. I've been looking at your business.
How to build your design early access ideal. Yeah, and build minimal viable product and use feedback to update it. Why do you need a waitlist? How to build your audience, how to validate your idea, how to find co-finders, like, yeah, how to build them out, early access deal, build a machine, set up a
business. And I think there are 3 clear
I've been looking at your business
opportunities around the problem that you solve. I've dropped this into a document, but I'm happy to jump on a call and talk you through what I'm seeing. That starts a conversation, it adds value, and it gets them on the call. So the final layer is AEO, or Answer Engine Optimization. This is about making sure your brand appears in AI-driven search, not just in Google, but ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, and other platforms where your customers are now looking for answers. So the shift happening right now is the entire reason that we launched Searchable. People are using AI to make purchasing decisions, to choose which tool to use, which agency to hire, and which product actually solves their problem. And the brands that are showing up in these answers are building a compounding distribution advantage that is going to get harder and harder to close the longer that you wait. So we've just talked about building an MVP, collecting feedback, and then how to drive traffic to your business. However, as a startup, the most important thing is that you make the most of any traffic and interest that you get, and you turn that into interested customers. And that is why it's so important early on to create high quality lead magnets. The mechanisms are really straightforward. You create something genuinely valuable, a tool, a report, a framework, a piece of data your audience can't access anywhere else. And you put a small exchange in front of it, usually an email address or a phone number. And that exchange is the moment that you own the relationship. Every piece of communication that you send afterwards goes straight to them. It doesn't just get posted to social media. For Searchable, we spent a week building what became our most important acquisition tool, the free AI visibility report. Anyone could enter their company name, and Searchable would scan their website, identify their competitors, and generate a report showing exactly how they were appearing or not appearing across the major AI platforms compared to their competitors. And that's how we engineered this value exchange. Our report was free to generate, but to read the full results of the report, you needed to create a Searchable account. And that was it. But it was only one step, with no credit card, no commitment, just an account. But what we received in return was nearly 50% of those free users converted to paid users, all because we gave them an incredibly valuable piece of information and an incredibly valuable tool upfront for free. We've actually just released the latest version of Searchable's visibility report. And if you want to see how your company ranks on ChatGPT and other LLMs for free, the link is at the top of the description in the video. So now we're on to the launch. So in January, we opened the doors to Searchable publicly. And thanks to the work that we put in on all the different stages we talked about, we reached $1 million of ARR in 60 days, which let us immediately hire more people into our product and engineering team and build out our broader marketing team. I believe if anyone follows this playbook, finds a niche within an incredible natural growth market and develops a product that people are very interested in, they will get similar inbound from investors. So the key tip is, build in an exciting space, share your success, force early traction, and investors will be interested. But let me end with a few ways that we are still driving this growth, because scaling customer acquisition beyond social is challenging and complicated. But there are two focus areas that we're working on right now. Inbound inquiries, which we're generating through adverts, through organic social media content, through press, and also ranking in Google, traditional search, and appearing in AI search as well. We also launched the AI Search Accelerator, which is a 5-week live training program for businesses who are looking to drive their presence in ChatGPT, and attracted hundreds of customers that we've now trained hands-on, which is both great for awareness, but also for stickiness within the product. The second is outbound, which is the process of locating the contact details for your target ICP and sending them messages to check your tool out, to book a demo, and to see how your business works. We use a combination of Apollo and LinkedIn to find the data, and then we use Clay to enrich it, to give us the contact details, and then we send really high quality, personalized outbound about their business and how Searchable could help them. And that brings us to today, the beginning of June. We have been live now for 5 months and have managed to scale our business to beyond $3 million of annual recurring revenue. We have a team of 18 people, and we are now working on the next iteration of our product and scaling up our business. The next version of Searchable is an autonomous AI agent that will actually help you and your business to strategize and execute the work required to build your business and appear in AI search. It's been a hell of a ride, and we're obviously not stopping now. So I hope you continue watching the journey.
Yeah, so that's what they're building, huh?
JS में क्योंकि Astro.js
Huh, so that's what he did. But that's a future. That's what his roadmap was. They generally build a value. But how do you generally find value? How do you generally build value? I do not have investors. I do not have a team. I do not have capital. I am just alone in a room with some money. Huh. I'm sick and tired of this shit.
people pay you every month to just keep using the app. So think about your Amazon Prime subscription, for example. Amazon does not have to convince traffic. Same
I think
model
only
to be in. Number one, recurring revenue. People pay you every month to just keep using the app.
man, I'm just watching YouTube
Model to
videos and
be in.
doing
Number
nothing at
one,
this point.
recurring revenue. People pay you
Shut up.
every month to
I
just
think I need
keep
to
using the app.
eat my lunch, bitch.
So think about your Amazon Prime subscription.
Yeah, I know. Setting up coding, getting tunics, build facial building.
Tip of the iceberg. Because I'm always digging into new business ideas. And when I say building front end, it simply means that I want all these buttons to be clickable. And quick break from our sponsor, Build Your from Claude. I log in, right? So you want to allow people to log marketing video, because if you have
How do you know? How do you know what is easy to build? But if it's easy to build, there's too much competition, or is there not? Like if I build a YouTube toolbox per se, then the point is what instincts, but I want to the wrong video. Which market use the most tool? Which market has the most unsolved tiny frustrations? Spend a lot of, but they have mature ecosystems: Canvas, CapCut, Adobe, Turby, Calypso, Arista, Labs, ChatGPT, Notion. Every one of these companies keep adding more features. That means very successful micro tools you build or to larger products within a year. Now compare that with something like accountants. They still things like GPT, invoice, PDF merger. Those problems are boring, but problems are often accountant. Okay. GST calculator, invoice. Okay. For example, industry, lots of users, high willingness to pay. Like you have students just never pay money, frustrated problems, easy to CEO, art competition, medium. HR, construction, low, lot of users are less, willingness to pay is high, fragmented problems, easy CEO, low, small businesses, finance. Okay, a toolbox for YouTube would never work out because like let's just say competition is extreme. There's already mature ecosystems, extreme. For Instagram too, extreme. But if it's like if not for them, the mode is no, you have to build it. Lots of users, high willingness to pay. What is HR and finance? Fragmented problem, high willingness to pay. Finance, okay, finance. Finance has a high willingness to pay. Fragmented problem, easy feature, medium, okay. The winner isn't obvious. The problem with toolbox you said you do build 100 tools, maybe thumbnail checker, script timer, title score, thumbnail formatter, short caption maker, hook generator. What happens? Half of those become ChatGPT prompts, another quarter get added to YouTube Studio, the remaining ones are copied by competitors, so your mode is weak. The better question, workflow. Ask for example, some people upload when they work for idea, research, outline, script, analytics, every arrow in friction. One tag removal, now you're building a workflow product, not random utility, so it's like an idea, how do you validate an idea, research. So it's like it goes online and try to find out the reason why that idea works or not. Then you have a research section, which says research. Right, or like what is the best source to actually find the information, and then you outline, then you have like a script. So if you write a script, then you have teleprompter, then you have thumbnail, then you have title, then you have description, then you have hashtags. So it generates upload, search engine optimization. So yeah, that's what analytics, every arrow. You're doing a lot of tools must be big. Some of the best businesses are built on ridiculously specific utilities. Imagine a tool that only does this. Base your transcript automatically into YouTube time span. Base your title, predict whether it exceeds mobile display width. Then with upload title, simulate how it appears among competing thumbnails. This is surprisingly valuable because they remove one repetitive task. But if I have to bet my money on small business operator invoice calculators, developers huge demand but fierce competition, content creators large market but crowded, AI powered users prompts out token, social media managers, class platform, publishing helpers caption. 10-second task, creator hub, developer hub, business hub, finance hub. Them into hubs, reuse UI and a single code base can support hundreds of tools. Over time you'll see attract traffic and which users return those users pattern will tell you where to invest the deeper products. Don't confuse competition with market attractiveness. A market with many competitors often indicates real demand. The question is whether you can discover a neglected corner of the workflow. Distribution search. Word of mouth. Open. Workflow design for a YouTuber. I mean, workflow design for a YouTuber may work. Like you're designing a workflow for a finance person, but if you design a workflow for a YouTuber, that would be like, yeah, that would be insanely beneficial or something. What about designing a workflow for YouTubers? Like designing a workflow for YouTubers, or maybe like a thumbnail designer. No, they don't need actually workflows. But if you're uploading a post on Instagram, right? I mean workflows for that. Like how about that? Because you're reducing content switching and not just solving one isolated Instagram publishing and creator finishing editing a reel instead. Different website they go on one page, they upload the video, generate the 3 caption variations, generates keywords, generate 30 hash count caption, like check if the first line is enough, preview how the caption looks, generate all text, revise the corner image, schedule a reminder to remind. There's no longer 10 tools, it's one workflow, the same idea instead of 100 YouTube tools. Build public assistance. She gets thumbnail preview at different sizes. Mobile thumbnail simulation. Title A/B testing. Title length checker. Description generator. Chapters from transcript tag simulations. Pin command generator. Community post drafts. Upload checks in noting something the user stays on one screen. Here's where I do pushback. Repetitive bonding. What do creators do every single day? Upload filtering, renaming file, writing times. Resize thumbnails. Checking safe zones, creating platform specific captions, copy pasting links, writing descriptions. Those happens every time. Accumulation. One thing I would avoid though, be careful not to build a Swiss Army knife. Let's put 80 creator tools on one website. The result is often overwhelming. A better product feels like upload your finished video. It walks through each publishing step. The user don't think about the tools, they think I'm publishing a video. The creator OS. For that takes finished piece of content, prepares for YouTube, Instagram automatically while letting the creator workflow that can reduce every piece of content rather than a single utility. Creator end up using it every time they publish. You have a strongly foundation, the collection of unrelated micro tools. Like a workflow, right? So you design, so rather than directly uploading from the, or you design a workflow, right? So it's like they come to you. Searchable made a lot of money.
एसईओ के लिए सबसे टॉप टियर है रिएक्ट, नेक्स्ट.जेएस। इन सबको मैं टेस्ट कर लिया है। इन सबका एसईओ बिल्कुल ही बकवास है एंड वेबसाइट रैंक ही नहीं करती गूगल पे। तो अगर आपकी वेबसाइट गूगल पे टॉप पे रैंक नहीं करेगी तो बंदे कैसे आएंगे आपकी वेबसाइट पे एंड एड्स कौन देखेगा एंड आपकी अर्निंग कैसे होगी। तो इसलिए हम तो जो पहला स्टेप है वो है फाइंडिंग द प्रॉब्लम। टाइप करना है Ahref कीवर्ड जनरेटर। इसमें हमको क्या देखना है कि जो हमने सर्च किया है वो एक वैलिड सर्च कीवर्ड है या नहीं। मतलब लोग उसको सर्च कर रहे हैं, या फिर कोई और कीवर्ड है जिसको लोग यूजुअली सर्च करते हैं। तो आप देख सकते हो इन वेबसाइट में भी ऑनलाइन रूलर ही लिखा हुआ है ऑलमोस्ट सारी वेबसाइट में, दैट मीन्स यही कीवर्ड होगा। तो हमको यहाँ कीवर्ड डाल के फाइंड में क्लिक करके हम यहाँ पर देख सकते हैं कि हमारा वॉल्यूम क्या है। एंड आप इसमें देख सकते हो अराउंड 1000 लोग इसको मंथली सर्च करते हैं, एंड ये सिर्फ यूएस का डेटा है। तो आप सोच सकते हो कि बाकी सारी कंट्रीज़ को मिला के कितने ज़्यादा सर्च होंगे इस कीवर्ड के। एंड गाइस इसकी मदद से हमको और भी बहुत सारे कीवर्ड मिल गए जिसमें हम टारगेट कर सकते हैं अपने टूल को। इससे हमारी वेबसाइट इन सब कीवर्ड्स पे भी रैंक करेगी। अब हम क्वेश्चंस वाले टैब में जाएंगे, एंड गाइस जो FAQ होते हैं वो बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट होते हैं हमारे टूल के लिए, तो हम FAQ भी इंक्लूड करेंगे। तो यहाँ से सारे क्वेश्चंस हमको उठाने हैं, एंड ये सारे एज अ FAQ हमारी वेबसाइट में ऐड करने हैं। तो इससे हमारी जो सर्च रैंकिंग है वो बहुत ही ज़्यादा इंप्रूव होती है। एंड गाइज हम AI को कहेंगे कि इन सभी कीवर्ड्स के लिए हमारे टूल को SEO ऑप्टिमाइज करे, ताकि हमारी जो वेबसाइट है वो काफ़ी ऊपर रैंक करे। एंड हाँ गाइज हम US को टारगेट करते हैं ज़्यादातर। क्यों? क्योंकि जो US का जो CPM रेट होता है एड्स का, मतलब अगर आपके पास 1000 लोग हैं सिर्फ US के, तो आप उतना अर्न कर लोगे जितने आप इंडिया में 1 लाख US से अर्न कर पाओगे, क्योंकि US की परचेजिंग पावर बहुत ही ज़्यादा है। तो इसलिए हम जनरली US को टारगेट करके अपने ऐप्स बनाते हैं। एंड हाँ गाइस जो सेकंड वे है कीवर्ड को ढूंढने का, आप अपना कीवर्ड गूगल में लिख के स्पेस दबाओ, एंड आपको बाकी सारे कीवर्ड मिल जाएंगे जो कि यूजर्स सर्च कर रहे हैं। एंड अगर आप फर्स्ट में जाके स्पेस दबाओगे तो आपको और भी कीवर्ड्स मिल जाएंगे। इन कीवर्ड्स की हेल्प से हम अपना सेकंड स्टेप करेंगे जो कि है बाइंग अ डोमेन। एंड हाँ गाइज हमें डोमेन नेम के लिए बहुत ही ज़्यादा सोचना है, क्योंकि जितनी भी अर्निंग्स हमारी होंगी वो डिपेंड करेगी कि हमने डोमेन नेम कैसे ली है। तो गाइज डोमेन नेम ढूंढने के लिए आपको आ जाना है instantdomainsearch.com पे। एंड हाँ गाइज इस वीडियो में मैं जितनी भी लिंक्स यूज़ करूँगा, जितने भी
Rather than creating workflows, I can upgrade to creating workflows for YouTube. Right, like a workflow design, complexity like explodes. Not explodes, but workflow design. They design a workflow for LinkedIn, like workflow design. Like yeah, you can design for everything then. DESIGN workflow design. Can I small this out and see? Like yeah, I still want to see, you know. Like yeah, the pain is yes, like yeah, there's high pain for that too. Mid to high. Right, frequency is also high. Our market size once again huge, because you're targeting like, okay, this is even huger than social media because this adds everything. You can just have, yeah, oh my gosh, now that I think about it, yeah, because like workflow can actually like divert into anything, right? Payment of probability high, if not extremely. Customer acquisition cost mid. Distribution, okay, distribution is going to be high. We need mid distribution, at least we need distribution mid to high for this to work. Customer lifetime, CLV, customer lifetime value. Customer lifetime value is high, if not extremely high. Right, manufacturing cost and complexity high. We're not gonna market data. High, we already know what problems are people constantly occurs to or something. Yeah, market data. Competition. We can collect market data from this fucking website. Yes. Keyword with Ahrefs, right? Competition high, not extreme, high. Okay, yeah, it is extreme. Yeah, let's be honest. Workflow, like yeah, mid to high, because no one's actually creating workflows. They're just creating simple utilities. They're not creating workflows. Moat, well, it's an entire flow for, so mode is medium, like yeah, but not high. People can copy it. Then again, information asymmetry, information mid. But then again, you can hire people like, yeah, we can gather information. So yeah, low, we can say low to mid, because we can hire people and ask, okay, what kind of, like, you know, things do you need all the time when you're building something like that? You know, what kind of, I have people who build YouTube videos or something, or I have people who actually build like, yeah, and I'll go out and reach out to people who at least have hundreds of thousands of, like, you know, things like that.
टाइप करना है Ahrefs कीवर्ड जनरेटर। इसमें हमको क्या देखना है कि जो हमने सर्च किया है वो एक वैलिड सर्च
Oh yeah, and I can reach out to people, yeah.
कीवर्ड है या नहीं, मतलब लोग उसको सर्च कर रहे हैं या फिर कोई और कीवर्ड है जिसको लोग यूजुअली सर्च करते हैं। तो आप देख सकते हो इन वेबसाइट में भी ऑनलाइन रूलर ही लिखा हुआ है ऑलमोस्ट सारी वेबसाइट में, दैट मीन्स यही कीवर्ड होगा। तो हमको यहाँ कीवर्ड डाल के फाइंड में क्लिक करके हम यहाँ पर
I think this Ahrefs is like, we need to fucking bookmark this website. This website is just awesome because it tells you what keyword people are searching. And we'll Ashraf's. AI marketing platform powered by big data. Keyword generator, right? So like 40 million monthly AI prompts, 59 keyword tracked. Get started. He's using what? He's using Ahrefs, right? Yeah, this website is kind of big. You have to sign up. You'll just continue with Google. Accept all the marketing platform both for search and AI. Okay, yeah, we have to pay for it too. Everyone use this, don't they? Why does fucking every company is getting used by these? Oh my gosh, there's big companies already using so many platforms. If you, like, yeah. I have to scan a QR code. I definitely don't like that. And why it's so hot in the room? Does the AC's off? It's running. Ah, fuck. What that? No, don't make the sound. Allow. It's heated. Oh, yeah. Continue. Once again, you have to scan multiple times. Are you shitting me? Allow. Yeah, so it's done. $99 a month. Okay, so it's space. Okay, create, setup, organize, and create workspace, invite item members. No, I mean what? Domains. Buy a new domain. No, I need just this one. What? Ah, okay, so they had this one. Okay. The web. Don't tell me I have to do the same shit again and again. You do have to pick this. No, not this right now, actually. Remove. What is that? Like this guy, okay. I mean, maybe I searched into the wrong website.
टाइप करना है Ahref कीवर्ड जनरेटर. इसमें हमको क्या देखना है कि
Ever wondered how people are searching for your brand online? Meet Keywords Explorer, Ahrefs' tool for in-depth keyword research and demand forecasting. It digs deep into any search query, revealing tons of valuable keyword ideas to fuel your business growth. Let's kick things off with a popular brand like Airbnb and see how many insights we can uncover in under 1 minute. Right off the bat, we see this is a branded query that receives 30 million global searches a month, mostly from the US, France, and the UK, giving us a rough idea about the brand's key markets. And right below, you'll find a quick snapshot of the top search queries people are actively looking up or asking about. In fact,
Okay. They kind of like put me free, yeah. So this is like the main website. You just have to bookmark that. They just got me into entire ecosystem of them rather than, yeah. So we have, let me just delete this. Add to Edge. Okay, we can add to this to Edge. The first thing we'll do is like, okay, YouTube workflow. Get extension, add extension. This guy will guide me the entire process, right? So this guy's like, okay, no volume, easy to workflow app questions. Now, so no one's actually searching for workflow, YouTube workflow. So workflow, not workflow, actually workflow. Nah, hard. Less than 100, like yeah, workflow, not sorry, that workflow. For management, more than 10,000 people. Oh my gosh. Okay, what is that? Keyword difficulty gives an essay how difficult it is to rank in the top 10 organic search result. And this is currently where this is just in United States. So yeah, this is another thing. Google, Bing, YouTube. Okay, so yeah, I can also tell this in YouTube. Okay, enter keyword. Amazon too. This is like, yeah, Bing. This tool is into maintenance, so like, yeah, that works, but yeah. Okay, so we've got that, so that means we can use that keywords to actually find out what people are searching for continuously. We did find out that people are continuously searching for workflows or something.
एक valid search keyword है या नहीं?
Well, this video is actually talking a lot, man. Like, this video is actually teaching me a lot. I'm not gonna lie. The most ROI is like the simple book designed by an Indian. Like, you know, he literally did the thing. It's got 500,000 views. He literally knew his shit. I'll be back in like a couple hours, guys. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go to breakfast, like lunch, and then yeah, I'll be back. Okay, what I did realize with Manhua's business and web novels and porn business is like, okay, first of all, porn is really unethical, man. I really don't want to go for it. Like, personal bias. Like, it's something because, the idea came to me because in the past, like, yeah, I guess I've done some things that I really hate watching porn, and, like, I've done it, and the idea came to me, like, yeah, as long as it's business, it's like, yeah, but, man, I just want to, honestly, it's a really good opportunity, man. Now that I think about it, but I just want to avoid it. I just don't want to do it for some reason. And you guys both know, I do have a line of morality, I guess, a little bit. Like, even though I'm not religious at all, I don't want to do a porn business. I just don't want to. Even if it makes money, like, yeah, I get it. Like, there is some edge and advantages. Like, the advantage in porn business, like, it's highly unethical. No one really wants to appear or do it. Like, yeah, you can hide it from family too. My family would never know if I do a porn business, or I can just say I'm doing a website business or something and they'll just get it. But the point is personal bias, guys. Personal bias. I'm not going to do it. Okay, but we can definitely do Manhua business. But what I did realize when I was downstairs is like, okay, let's just search. So the problem with the Manhua business is that, okay, it gets 100K plus, like, you can see here. Let me just show it to you guys. It gets about 100K plus, like, searches, like, about like, yeah, less than 100K. But yeah, you get the thing. Okay, there's hentai manhwa porn, Jinx manhwa 18 hentai. Why the fuck everyone wants a fucking what? Okay. If you add all of them up, it's probably 70,000. Not 60, 70, but 50,000 searches every day or every couple of days. For Manhua porn, there's an entire market for that. What? But we're not gonna go into that. We're gonna go with Manhua, right? And what we're gonna do is like we're gonna like, but the problem is you need producers. Like, it's like, yeah, you need producers. It's like you need a lot of people who can actually, so you need to like have a connection with studios, and how would you get those studios? And you can never get a high quality studio on your platform because those are already contracted with someone. There's network effects there. Really hard to replicate. So we can't do that business again. What else, guys? What else kind of business is there that people constantly search for? Online ruler. It's about, volume is less than 1,000. So like globally, that's like a 10-20,000 globally. So yeah, that's a like, yeah, but what else? We have workflow. What I did find out with workflow was like, is there no global option, by the way? Workflow automation has about 10,000 plus searches. I mean, like, yeah, people want their workflows to be automated to some degree. I want to know how many people in India is actually talking about workflow though. But yeah, website is easy to actually, about 10,000 people too in India. So that's actually good thing that in multiple companies, it's somewhere about 10,000, Brazil, Afghanistan. I don't think so anyone in Afghanistan is searching for workflow, but probably less than 100. Yeah, this kind of like tells you how behind a country is. But yeah, in India, it should have been probably more than 10,000, but it's not. Right, because like, yeah, what about Finland? Like, I don't think so that much because the population is really small. So like having 10,000, yeah, probably. That's why you have to like go with US or something. Like, yeah, people in the US are the real market. Iran, Iraq, Indonesia, but in Japan, I think in Japan it would be probably somewhere at 10,000. Yeah, 1,000. Okay, yeah, population matters too. In India, there's a big population. So yeah, but YouTube, as soon as we say for YouTube, like, yeah, that kind of like raised to billion or something. So. Yeah, but then again, how do we? So that's why we're not gonna do a porn business because like I just don't feel like it. Workflow design, yeah. And then again, you need producers who produce porn, right? In the first place, like a majority of them are unethical websites that will probably get shut down after a couple of weeks or if not a couple of months. Like majority of the movies that appears too on those like unethical movie websites, they are not. But yeah, they do end up earning some money actually. Not gonna lie, but then again. I mean, YouTube Toolbox, which is a workflow design. So yeah, workflow design for social media platforms. Like, yeah, we can build that. How much money is there? Predictive sustaining multiple systems, predictive AI, no. Yeah, distribution is one of the biggest skills. Distribution, anything distribution, AI, orchestration, meta learning. What would it would say? What would you say about creating a workflow design for platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and stuff like that? Research competitors, write script, generate thumbnails, create b-roll list, edit, upload, SEO, schedule, repurpose into SHA, repurpose into Instagram, repurpose into X, track analytics, feed analytics back into idea generation. Good workflow plot, good consider as what is the next body instead of asking sixth. Where AI changes the game. A few years ago, work for software mostly track static. Stats for AI improve idea generated, AI gathers reference, AI drafts. I mean, workflow has a demand like YouTube workflows, right? Like it doesn't actually say, but yeah. Concepts, AI creates title options, AI creates AI drafts online, and then you can have a software called Reason that actually simultaneously track multiple AI agents. AI gather reference, AI creates tweet thread, AI extracts short, AI reminds error, AI summarize analytic forward. It's actually the interesting asymmetry. I think people often understand QAs don't actually want an upper clear, they want fewer decisions. Decision fatigue is one of the biggest and cost in creative work. System getting with 30 micro decision every upload is much more valuable than one that's in the dashboard. Bottleneck terminal iteration workflow, sponsored manufacturer content repurposing, feedback workflow, idea research complete, citations, thumbnail pending, editing ready for upload, publish, analytic connected. Back into future. The last step is the key. The most creator never systematically learn from previous videos. Becomes a close feedback. Think like, and then you can have like an AI engine optimizations. The strongest source for products don't sell organization. Friction from high value recurring tasks. If your system's much stronger chance of becoming something people rely on rather than just try once. Yeah. No, but is workflow design a future? Like, is it going to be extremely important to have these kind of design in the future? Because I think, yeah, I mean, if you can have a design like a workflow, and if you can design a workflow for people who are in the YouTube industry, that's actually very advantageous and beneficial for them, though, isn't it? Human edits, AI generate assets, AI publish, AI create. Hospital, law firms, marketing, manufacturing. Workflow documentation, right? So yeah, that's true, but I don't know if that's kind of like gonna work out or not that much. Now what shall we do?
User to be able to connect to a Google Calendar, please install the feature. All right, so it's asking me to enable something again, which is the Google Calendar API on the Google Cloud Console. So I'm going to go back to that, and then I'm just going to search for Calendar API, and it should be here. There you go. And I'm just going to simply enable this, and then I have to go to OAuth consent screen, go to data access, and then add remove scopes. And then just going to copy both of these, put it down here.
मतलब लोग उसको सर्च कर रहे हैं या फिर कोई और कीवर्ड है जिसको लोग यूजुअली सर्च करते हैं, तो आप देख सकते हो इन वेबसाइट में भी ऑनलाइन रूलर ही लिखा हुआ है ऑलमोस्ट सारी वेबसाइट में. दैट मीन्स यही कीवर्ड होगा, तो हमको यहाँ कीवर्ड
Yeah. Capability, distribution, timing. If distribution is 0, the product doesn't mean the distribution is more important than capacity. It means the 2 multiplier rather than keeps moving up, but the civilization automatically over the 100 years physical labor. It's about coordinating with people and tool is correct judgment in this. She can bounce faster than any individual skill. Imagine 2 people. Technical, so then usually the she can bounce more than labor. This is yeah. Like I think workflow, like the designing of YouTube workflow is kind of like really good.
डाल के फाइंड में क्लिक करके हम यहाँ पर देख
But I
सकते
think
हैं
this
कि
idea
हमारा
of like
volume
this
क्या है.
idea of
And
like
आप इसमें
micro
देख
tools
सकते
is
हो,
like also
around
good.
1000 लोग
I
इसको
think people
monthly
don't
search करते
actually
हैं.
pay attention to it just like me because they think it's not going to work out or maybe it's not sustainable at all. That in itself is a
एंड ये सिर्फ यूएस का डेटा है, तो आप सोच सकते हो कि बाकी सारी कंट्रीज को मिला के कितने यार सर्च होंगे इस कीवर्ड पे. तो आप अराउंड 1000 लोग इसको मंथली सर्च करते हैं एंड ये सिर्फ यूएस का डेटा है, तो आप सोच सकते हो कि बाकी सारी कंट्रीज को मिला के कितने यार जिसमें हम टारगेट हम क्वेश्चंस वाले टैब में जाएंगे एंड गाइस जो गाइस जर्नल में कीवर्ड्स मिल जाएंगे एंट्री होंगी वो तो आ जाना है instantdomainsearch.com पे. कोड वो आपको इस वीडियो के डिस्क्रिप्शन में मिल जाएगा, आप वहाँ से कॉपी पेस्ट कर सकते हो. तो गाइस इंस्टेंट डोमेन सर्च में आके आपको अपना कीवर्ड पेस्ट करना है. कीवर्ड पेस्ट करने के बाद आप देखोगे कि जर्नली सारी डोमेन्स बुक्ड है. एंड आपको एक बात का ध्यान रखना है कि हमको सिर्फ .com डोमेन ही लेनी है, कोई और लेनी ही नहीं है. .xyz .info नहीं लेनी, क्योंकि मेरे एक्सपीरियंस से सबसे अच्छी एंड सबसे इजी रैंकिंग .com की ही है. तो गाइस मैं .com ही लेता हूँ. मैं कोई और डोमेन देखता तक नहीं हूँ। अब .com तो अवेलेबल है नहीं क्योंकि ये किसी और बंदे ने ले रखी है। तो अब हमको कीवर्ड के साथ खेलना पड़ेगा। जो हमारा मेन कीवर्ड है हमारी डोमेन में वो होना ही चाहिए। जैसे कि हमारा मेन कीवर्ड है रूलर, तो ये होना ही चाहिए, इसको हम हटा नहीं सकते। एंड आप देख सकते हो कि ऑनलाइन भी इस कीवर्ड का पार्ट है। तो गाइस ऑनलाइन भी इस पे मैं रखना चाहूँगा क्योंकि हमें ऑनलाइन रूलर पे रैंक करना है। एंड गाइस जो पहली वेबसाइट है उस पे ये दोनों कीवर्ड नहीं है। इसका मतलब हमारे चांसेस ज़्यादा हैं इस पर रैंक करने के क्योंकि हमारी डोमेन में ये दोनों वर्ड होंगे। जो सेकंड वेबसाइट इस पर रैंक कर रही है उसमें सिर्फ एक वर्ड है, थर्ड में भी एक ही है, फोर्थ में भी एक ही है। एंड इनके तो डोमेन भी सही नहीं है, ONL एंड नाउ। तो गाइस इस कीवर्ड पे रैंक करने के चांसेस काफ़ी ज़्यादा हैं हमारे। एंड हाँ गाइस, अगर आपको यहाँ पर रेडिट का पोस्ट दिखता है या फिर क्वोरा का कोई क्वेश्चन दिखता है तो आप समझ जाओ आपके हाथ में गोल्ड माइन लग गया है क्योंकि गूगल को कुछ मिल ही नहीं रहा रैंक करने के लिए। अगर आपको कोई ऐसा कीवर्ड मिल गया तो आप तुरंत वेबसाइट बना दो, आपकी बहुत ही जल्दी रैंकिंग स्टार्ट हो जाएगी एंड आप बहुत ही अच्छा पैसा अर्न कर पाओगे उससे। तो गाइस जैसा कि मैंने कहा था, डोमेन नेम ढूंढने के लिए आगे आपको एक बार स्पेस प्रेस करना है। तो गाइस मेरे को यहाँ पर इंचेस मिला, सेंटीमीटर।
Camera quality check. How many check camera quality. Ah, they have a webcam test. Webcam is not working. Okay, let me just switch off webcam here for a sec, guys. Where it is, video capture. Let's just test my webcam here. Is being used by, okay, yeah, my webcam has been used by laptop device, home webcam test. Okay, this website is really trash. Right, this website is really trash. Let me just search how many people are actually searching for a webcam. Let me just webcam test. Find keywords. Ah! More than 10,000, almost more than 5,000. I don't know, but yeah. Webcam test, the platform that is ranking at the top, webcam.org, free webcam test online. Test your webcam online. Yeah. I just need org. I just need webcamtest.com. Right. Select camera, test my webcam, not selected. Full camera quality, work perfect, so my grade for testing, allow access to reviewing your camera. This is fucking AI created garbage. Comment and feedback. This is fucking AI created garbage. Just you are competing them when it comes to this idea. So you're doing a webcam test, and I don't think so. It's easy. Like, yeah, we are already building a webcam tester. Like, fuck, we just found an idea. Online webcam test, check camera quality, FPS and free and stuff like that. They are stream FPS, stream resolution, sharpness, exposure, webcam. Okay. Webcam mic test allows you to .org. Allow, if I just say allow device selection, choosing camera, CurioCal. Yes, microphone. Your camera now working. Tips and troubleshoot. Like, yeah, this is like a low quality website, trust me. And this one is like actually good though. No, not that. Mm-hmm. So you can have a chic webcam website. Yeah, actually, yeah, I should open up Pine because my OBS is not allowing it to. Run or something, but yeah, I can definitely do better than these things. But the workflow evaluation or something, which can work, I suppose. And society you can steal.
SaaS ideas when making a video, but these are
Here's the situation. I've worked in corporate America all of my life, at companies like Apple and Amazon. But I left all of that to start a freight company.
To build a SaaS in cold email. So why did you choose cold calling instead of building an instantly competitor? Cold email could be sold to your students, agency owners, clients, your entire audience. Don't get me wrong, I think it's a great idea and I'm going to book a demo. I was just wondering what the thinking was behind choosing cold calling. Cold calling is far less efficient than cold emailing, and cold calling has a lot more opportunity to improve. It's also one step down from text, which is something that is quite easily automatable, and I foresee within the next 12 months we having basically totally automated cold email systems up and running. I would rather, do the thing where
How about building a game company? What is the reality of that? Like, I am trying to avoid competition, but yeah, I think automation and workflow would actually work. Not exactly automation, but workflow or something would work a lot better. But like, yeah, there's this one guy who constantly keeps on saying, not constantly, but yeah, he says, yeah.
What's up, guys? Sebastian Georgie here. Welcome back to my channel. This is a day in the life of running a software company that makes $500,000 a month. We're at $528,000 a month in recurring revenue. What we're doing now is, in my opinion, it's so much cooler than just having, a normal job. This is pretty much the plan. From 10 to 11, I'm gonna respond to all communications. So in the morning, I have to respond and catch up with everyone, and then I don't do it throughout the middle of the day so I can actually work, and then before I finish the day, I respond again. So this is what has worked for me. If I just responded to people all day long, it would take up the whole day. I wouldn't be able to get anything done. We're gonna read after from 11 to 12, then at 12:30 we're gonna have lunch, so I'm gonna have food. Then after that, I'm gonna go back to the computer and I'm gonna do one big task I want to get done today, one thing that's going to take about 30 minutes to an hour. Then after I'm done with that, we're going to go to the gym. Then from 2 to 5 p.m., we're going to find another place to work, either at my friend's Airbnb, Josh. They're from out of town and like that.
What's it like to manage all those people, or make sure all the
makes sense.
I wouldn't be able to do it. I can manage 18 people, so that's why we have a team. So it is probably more than 18 people when I actually think about it. It's probably more because we have the marketing team, which is, you know, Brandon with like all of his guys, and I don't manage those guys. You know, I like barely even know what they're doing on a day-to-day basis, but Brandon does. Brandon meets with them frequently, and sometimes I'm in those meetings, sometimes I'm not in those meetings. I don't task them on anything. I don't have any like creative ideas that like I really, you know, like force them to do. Like once in a while I'll have an idea and I'll pass it to the CMO, and then Brandon will pass it to his guys. And same thing with Tucker. Like if I have an idea for product or if I notice a bug, I'm not going to like our engineers and I'm not like DMing them and being like, hey, fix this. I don't do that. I tell Tucker like on the next meeting, I'll write down my idea or like what I noticed, and I'll DM Tucker and I'll be like, hey, I noticed this is a problem. And then he'll be like, okay, and he'll address it in the next meeting, or he'll task it out on like a Trello board. And I don't.
So this is how we manage a business, huh? Oh man, I want to do something to.
Yeah, I haven't read like a ton of books. I've probably read like 20. I haven't read like anything that has changed my life. But most of the books I've read have been like business related books, you know, like practical stuff like self-improvement type books. And yeah, I actually met that guy, Robert Kiyosaki. But yeah, I've read like recently been reading like a lot of SaaS books, like a lot of business books, like Zero to One by Peter Thiel. The Hard Thing About Hard Things was a good book. They're all good books. They're all like interesting and fun to read. But I can't think of one that stood out to me like that. It was like blowing me away, like best book I've ever read in my whole life. Yeah, this is a good book if you're starting any business, but it just is like a guide. It's like a very short book. And this guy consulted and met with many different CEOs. Like he helped Sam Altman with OpenAI. He helped the guy from Coinbase and a bunch of other people. And this is just like a manual for being a good CEO. So this is a good book for product positioning and like how to like position your product the best way possible. This is just a general SaaS framework playbook. It's very beginner, very basic, but still like a lot of useful stuff. This is a good book for learning how to onboard customers really well.
Yeah, but I think it's just better to actually get into stuff than read books. Trust me, they're meta books. You'll figure out a lot of strategies by yourself. You'll try, you'll iterate, and that's just kind of like the best way to learn rather than just, yeah. And then you can just like, yeah, there's so many people out there do the things they do without even reading about, because a lot of things they do have a lot of solutions out there that are already present or something. So yeah. Million evaluation, man. Damn, I just don't know at this point. What was I had another idea, but just that idea I forgot. Yeah, building a game, but then again, building a simple game, like what about? Because I do know a lot about what they say. Those happens every time. That's where value accumulates. Okay, versus army knife, yeah. And okay, what's happening? It's not working. Okay, it's not working. ChatGPT, by the way, I have like I've built like, how about building a game? I mean, games are addictive. People play for it a lot, right? Like literally, how about building, but not a high quality or something like a game, but I do know a lot about human psychology, how they want reproduction, like not exactly reproduction, but let's say mates, how they want like status, how they want money, consistency, power, stuff like that. But like how, you know, how would you say like, you know, that yeah, like if I wanna create a great game that actually earns, like, what about games? Like, do they earn a lot of money or not? The game market, huh? It's hyper competitive. Games absolutely can make up, but why games are attractive, right? Mastery, getting better status, leaderboards, collection, rare items, competition, curiosity, social interaction, progress, visible rewards, and certain outcomes, creativity. Some of the hardest companies of all Thyssen are all built in games. But here's the problem. Games are hip business. Business A, you build a GST calculator, it gets you 5,000 Google search per month, you rank as when traffic is fairly predictable. Business B, Like you spend 18 months making a game, nobody plays it, you own it. Now that happens far more often than people realize. Games don't fail because they're technically bad. They fail because they never reach critical mass. Distribution dominates. Right? The most indie developers don't fail because they can't code. They fail because nobody hears about the game. Steam alone gets thousands of new releases every month. Mobile app stores get even more. Visibility is scarce. They're asymmetry. Think about it, economics of microtool maybe. Google solves a recurring problem, has low maintenance. Game may take a year or more. Needs ongoing balancing, updates, bug fusing, marketing. Success is much less predictable. The expected return per hour can be lower unless you create a breakout hit. Build a game. I wouldn't try to take the next Minecraft. I would make something that's really small so and very fast feedback. A browse puzzle, a daily strategy game, a world game, a social deduction game, a simple ideal incremental game. The way I'm more than down. Data tells you which hypothesis survives. B2B business solves an expensive business problem. Making money. Workflow software for professional AI products that save people time or money. Utility website with strong SEO and recurring use. The games aren't last because they can't make money, because their distribution is unpredictable. Success concentrated in a tiny fraction of the title. A game can absolutely become a massive business. Financial performance games are one of the most highest variance best you can make. They resemble a few enormous winners, many projects that never developmental cost. Expensive business problem. What is an expensive business problem? What if I build like a consumer app, right? A consumer website. Like I can build that too, like some sort of like a utility tool that people need. Like yeah, but utility website with strong SEO and recurring use. I mean yeah, but they don't make much money. I mean they are not they won't make me $1 million or something a year or in revenue. But yeah, like that is the only thing that can actually generate that much amount of money is B2B SaaS solving expensive problem business, like yeah, expensive business problem. But that takes a lot of capital and maybe like a founder team or something that's not going to work out efficiently because like yeah, and you have workflow software for professional. I think that's something that can be done, but yeah, because you can incrementally improve the workflow and can publish a really small version of it which kind of like solves one thing, and then you can have like something that solves 2 things and then 10 things and then 20 things, and then you can design it into a pretty beautiful workflow or something, right? Like yeah, AI products that save time or money, right? You can have that, but then again, like this is bombarded by the market or something. You know, you have utility websites with strong SEO, recurring use. Yeah, but yeah, consumer app with strong network effects. Yeah, that could be another thing. But then again, consumer apps, like, you know, you can have I even thought of building a partner website, honestly, you know, because like there's a lot less competition there because of ethical reasons. And yeah, so that's another thing we can do. But then again, like, yeah, well, what is like, if you want to, like, because the point is the onboarding process, if there's one person, I mean, B2B SaaS businesses may start by just one person, but over time they require money and capital to hire other people, right? You just can't build all of the things or most of the things by yourself or something. So that is another thing. And B2B SaaS businesses also have like you need to target a big, big market that actually produce and like constantly problem that's finds. And I mean, there's lots of competitors there too. But yeah, that is far much better than actually targeting, I guess, like, yeah, because I mean, I've met a guy who actually do 10K month, 10K revenue in a month or something by doing by designing a software for customers. Like consumer, I think consumers have like a slow effect. Like, you know, if you design an app for consumer, you earn less money if you can design app for B2B businesses. I do get that. So would you recommend, like, you know, if you are designing for YouTubers, that's far much more efficient because they'll be likely to pay more if you design for, let's say, per se, a student or something. That's just kind of, because at the end of the day, like, yeah, but business, you can also mean big businesses, but YouTubers also do businesses and their job matters too, and they pay money for as long as you provide good enough utility or something. So that's, yeah. And it's easier to find because games are highly unpredictable. I get that, like, yeah. But there are people, like there are distribution too for the game, and there are people, like I think in games distribution matters a lot, and at the same time, you know, I mean, addictiveness of the game matters a lot. That's another thing. But then again, what game idea could you possibly have, right? Like, but a pawn website is just not possible. I mean, it's just a trash idea. Micro tool, like, yeah, that can work out, but then again, but then again, ChatGPT, what do you think is the best strategy for someone like me, a solopreneur starting from their room? Like, you know, the best strategy. I mean, like, yeah, we can pivot to different strategy in the future when the conditions changes, because yeah, you always have to find it. Like, you know, there are always better strategies as the conditions keeps on changing. But as for now, as for me right now, what do you think is the best strategy? I think, guys, the biggest problem with me is I want the perfect things. Right, and I don't want to start small. Yeah, that's my biggest problem too. Like, the very reason why I actually stick to the AC idea is because there was a huge market. But then again, I never like, if you, the pain frequency, I don't know anything about this shit. But then again, there's like pain too. I mean, you can say that frequency is high too. Market size is really, really big, huge and enormous. Payment probability is, I don't know, because like, yeah, I mean, I don't know if people would pay for that product. I never had enough data distribution. Yeah, you can have all these data with different kind of, like, if you design a YouTube workflow or something, you can have information about these kind of stuff a lot better than, yeah. Mm-hmm. Project teaches reusable skills. Workflow software fits that. Every new product becomes cheaper to launch. Workflow, that's why workflow matters the most, because Cloud services, like, yeah.
Everyone is talking about SaaS these days. Every new founder or creator is considering starting a SaaS business. And why is it so scalable, profitable, and repeatable? In this video, I'll break down exactly what the SaaS business model really is. So let's get started with this video. What is the onboarding and massive scalability? So how do SaaS businesses actually make money? SaaS businesses basically make money in 3 ways. The first is monthly and yearly subscriptions. Here, the user can pitch it to the entire world. The best example is Zoho, a SaaS company that rents or sells its products owned to the top 500 or bottom 500 companies, mostly established abroad. Thirdly, there is no physical product or inventory. This is a factor that
a video calling app powered entirely by AI agents. These aren't just summaries or transcripts. Every meeting here was an actual real-time call with an AI trained for a specific role. Whether it's a language tutor, interview coach, sales assistant, or something completely custom, the AI is there to actively help during the call. To start a new call with an AI agent, I click on the New Meeting button. I'm going to name this one Startup Coaching Call. I'll also create a new agent here called Hustle Coach. Welcome to Meet AI. We go. Looks like everything is working nicely. GitHub will use the callback. They display just like this. So if you want to, there we go, like this. You would almost, so now temporary form of to do is import parse as
You need to create an entire list of ideations or something. Transmission.
मीटर मिला, मिलीमीटर मिला, बट इससे हमारा तो इसका मतलब हम पीछे ऑनलाइन तो ये भी अवेलेबल नहीं है, ये भी किसी ने ले रखा है रेड का कॉपी पेस्ट करके। गाइस ये वाला अवेलेबल है, बट गाइस ये काफ़ी बड़ा हो रहा है तो काफ़ी अच्छा बट काफ़ी बड़ा है, तो बड़े नेम्स को कुछ अवॉइड ही करना है हमको। बट अगर कुछ और नहीं मिलता तो हम इसी को ले लेंगे। हम अभी थोड़ा और फाइंड करते हैं एंड इससे काफ़ी अच्छा एक फैक्टर होता है हमें जल्दी रैंकिंग दिलवाने का। मैं फिर से स्पेस लगाता हूँ पहले। देन गाइस हमें रियल कीवर्ड मिला है, इस पर हम देखते हैं एंड लकीली गाइस ये अवेलेबल है एंड ये छोटा भी है, तो गाइस ये मैं परचेज़ करूँगा तो गाइस आपको ऐसे ही प्रॉब्लम एंड डोमेन फाइंड करनी है तो एंड जनरल भाई एंड मैंने जब उसके लिए टूल बनाया एंड इसको मैं खुद यूज़ करता था तो वो प्रोडक्ट्स मेरे ज़्यादा चले हैं एज़ कम्पेयर टू मैंने ऐसे ही रैंडमली कुछ बना दिया या फिर किसी और के कहने पे कुछ बनाया हो। एंड गाइस आप जितना ज़्यादा एक्सप्लोर कर सकते हो उतना एक्सप्लोर करो। आप रेडिट पे जाओ, आप जेमिनाई से पूछो कि मेरे को टूल बनाना है, कोई प्रॉब्लम्स बता। आप जेमिनाई से पूछ सकते हो, आप क्लॉड से पूछ सकते हो, आप चैट जीपीटी से पूछ सकते हो कि मुझे प्रॉब्लम्स फाइंड करके दे। आपको ये नहीं बोलना है उसको कि क्या वेबसाइट बनानी है मेरे को या फिर क्या करना है, आपको प्रॉब्लम्स ढूंढनी है देन उस पर सोल्यूशंस बनाने हैं। तो गाइस मेरे को प्रॉब्लम मिल गई, मेरे को उसकी डोमेन है एंड गाइस यही एक प्राइस है जो आपको पे करना होगा, क्योंकि कुछ और लोगे तो आप अर्निंग तो भूल ही जाओ कि उससे कुछ अर्निंग होगी। अगर हमको कुछ स्टार्ट करना है तो हमको थोड़ा बहुत, बट गाइस डोमेन का कुछ किया है कि 1000 पार्टी प्रोवाइडर्स होते हैं जो कि 400-500 में भी डोमेन दे देते हैं ऑफर्स में। उनके लिंक्स मैं डिस्क्रिप्शन में डाल दूँगी। क्लियर करने का मोटिव अभी फ़िलहाल तो नहीं है। एंड गाइस मुझे बहुत सारे स्पॉन्सरशिप के ऑफ़र ऑलरेडी आ चुके हैं, मैंने सबको रिजेक्ट कर दिया है क्योंकि गाइस मैं उन टूल्स को खुद यूज़ नहीं करता। अगर मैं खुद यूज़ नहीं करता तो मैं आपको क्यों बताऊँ। फ्यूचर में भी सिर्फ वही स्पॉन्सरशिप मैं करूँगा जो मैं, क्योंकि मुझे यहाँ से पैसे अर्न करने की ज़रूरत ही नहीं है। तो गाइस डोमेन बाय करने के लिए मैं यूज़ करता हूँ नेमचीप, बट गाइस इसमें क्रेडिट कार्ड लगता है या फिर कोई हाई डेबिट कार्ड हो तभी आप इससे बाय कर सकते हो। एंड गाइस नेमचीप सुन के आप ये मत समझना कि मैं इसकी अब एफिलिएट लिंक दूंगा, आप डिस्क्रिप्शन जाके चेक कर लेना, कोई भी एफिलिएट लिंक नहीं होगी। तो गाइस यूपीआई से अगर आपको बाय करना है तो आप गोडैडी करके वेबसाइट है, आप उससे बाय कर सकते हो, ये आपको यूपीआई का ऑप्शन दे देता है। एंड गाइस जो थर्ड पार्टी वेबसाइट्स हैं वो मेरे को भी करंटली पता नहीं है, मैं पहले यूज़ करता था क्योंकि वो बल्क में किसी और वेबसाइट से बाय करके आपको प्रोवाइड करते हैं। उनकी सर्विसेज इतनी अच्छी नहीं होती, बट स्टार्टिंग के लिए जब मेरे पास पैसे की कमी थी तब मैं उन वेबसाइट्स को यूज़ करता था एंड वो 400, 500, 600 रुपये में मेरे को देते थे वो एक डोमेन। एंड गाइस गोडैडी पे भी कुछ ऑफर्स चलते रहता है, आप यहाँ से भी देख सकते हो, आप कहीं से भी लो, बस .com ही लेना। एंड गाइस जो थर्ड पार्टी वेबसाइट्स की जो लिंक्स हैं, अगर मैं
We are gonna go with GoDaddy, and I think we are just gonna find how expensive the problem is, how many people are facing that problem repeatedly. GoDaddy starts, type the domain you want. Start saving. Done. No, I don't. I want .com or something. Domains website. Okay, you're gonna go the route of this guy.
को मिलेगी तो मैं डिस्क्रिप्शन में डाल दूंगा, आप वहाँ से देख लेना। एंड गाइस अगर मेरे को नहीं मिली तो मैं नहीं डालूंगा उनको। एंड हाँ गाइस उन वेबसाइट से अगर आप बाय करोगे, मान लो 400 में आपको डोमेन मिल गई, 1 साल के बाद अगर आपकी वेबसाइट चलने लग गई ना तो आपको डोमेन ट्रांसफ़र कर लेनी है गोडैडी, नेमचीप, इन सब प्लेटफॉर्म पे, ये मैं आपको रिकमेंड करूँगा। एंड हाँ गाइस आपको जो डोमेन है वो कोड लिखने के बाद बाय करनी है। क्यों? क्योंकि मेरे साथ ऐसा हो चुका है, मैंने डोमेन तो पहले बाय कर ली, बट जब मैं उसका कोड लिखने गया तो कुछ ऐसी प्रॉब्लम आ गई जिससे वो वेबसाइट बननी पॉसिबल ही नहीं हुई। कभी कभी हम ऐसे आइडियाज़ लेके आते हैं जो कि पॉसिबल ही नहीं होते, या फिर कुछ डिफ़िकल्टी आती है, या फिर बहुत ही ज़्यादा हाई कॉस्टिंग लगती है उसमें। तो गाइज़ हमको अपनी जो कॉस्ट है वो मिनिमम से मिनिमम रखनी है। मैं यहाँ पर इसलिए आपको क्लाउडफ्लेयर का एग्जांपल दे रहा हूँ। क्यों? क्योंकि अगर हमारी कॉस्ट मिनिमम होगी तभी हम उस वेबसाइट को ज़्यादा देर तक चला पाएंगे। एंड एक वेबसाइट कम से कम 6 months to 1 year लेती है रैंक करने के लिए। आप ऐसा नहीं सोच सकते कि आपने आज वेबसाइट बनाई एंड कल से अर्निंग आनी स्टार्ट, ऐसा नहीं होता। कम से कम 6 महीने या फिर 1 साल आपको वेट करना पड़ेगा, तब जाके उसकी रैंकिंग स्टार्ट होती है। डिपेंड करता है कि आपने कैसी बनाई है, आपका कीवर्ड क्या है, आपका कंपटीशन कैसा है। जनरली मेरी वेबसाइट 4 महीने के अंदर रैंक करनी स्टार्ट कर देती है, तो 4 से 6 महीने तो मिनिमम वेट करना ही पड़ेगा। एंड अगर हमने कॉस्टिंग कोई लगा दी यहाँ पर तो गाइज उसको बेयर कर पाना हमारे लिए काफ़ी मुश्किल हो जाता है एंड एट दी एंड हम वेबसाइट डीमोटिवेट होके बंद कर देते हैं। तो हमने जो डोमेन है वो तो हमने 1 साल के लिए बाय कर ही लिया, हमारा डिप्लॉयमेंट कॉस्ट तो लगे ही रहा। तो इतना तो मेरे को पता है कि आप 1 साल तक तो उस डोमेन को लाइव ही रखोगे, क्योंकि 1 साल का पैसा तो हमने दे दिया। इससे एक फ़ायदा ये होता है हमारे चांसेस बढ़ जाते हैं सक्सेस के। तो गाइस आपको ऐसा आइडिया चूज़ करना है जिसमें आप अभी हमारे पास इन्वेस्टमेंट कम है एंड एक्सपीरियंस भी, बट आप टेंशन मत लो, मैं यही कंटेंट इस चैनल के थ्रू आपको प्रोवाइड करते रहूँगा, वो भी बिल्कुल ही फ्री में। आपको बस हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करना है, इससे मुझे इस वीडियो के नीचे अपना एक्सपीरियंस जो इस वीडियो को गाइस थ्रू एंड गाइस ये कैसे करवानी है, इसकी एक प्लेलिस्ट मिलेगी कोड विद एआई, आपको इसमें जाना है एंड गाइस इसमें जो लेटेस्ट वीडियो होगी आपको वो देखनी है, क्योंकि जो फ्री में जो ऑफर्स आते हैं एआई के वो चेंज होते रहते हैं। तो मैं इस प्लेलिस्ट में वो सारे, तो अगर से आपको सब्सक्रिप्शन मिल रहा है तो ये डिटेल में एक एक स्टेप में सकते हो, क्योंकि डिस्क्रिप्शन में डाल दूंगा। तो गाइस अब मैं आपको बताऊंगा डिटेल में एक एक स्टेप के इसको कैसे परफॉर्म करना है। तो गाइस कोडिंग स्टार्ट करने से पहले हमको कुछ चीज़ें
Astro.js, he talks about Astro.js. I would need this video and I just add it to watch later. Okay. Watch later, yeah. There's so many different steps that this video kind of like covers about how to actually build any stuff or something like that. So build a website or something, which is, oh my gosh, it's gonna be harder. Like, I don't know what to actually build, and if this is, maybe I should start with the workflow or something. Because his idea is pretty much simple: buy a lot of domains, like, you know, and build a lot of website, and every, like, yeah, in a year you should have like a 6 to 12 websites or something. That's like his main game is like speed is the main game here. This is another strategy, but then again, yeah, because the pain and revenue, like, yeah, but then again, you earn revenue from like a Google Ads or something, because that's what they use it as main form of revenue or something. Yeah. Am I kind of sad? Yeah, man, this is kind of hard. It's kind of hard. I still don't know if my like the AC controller idea was good or not. Oh man, should I just first validate my idea of building like the AC controller that I was building? There's so much uncertainty. I don't know what's gonna work out and what's not gonna work out. That's why it's so easy to actually build stuff like this rather than coming up with something own. But I know if I come up with something own, like a hardware company right now, and if I start making, I know it's not gonna get copied in a decade, and I can automate it up to some point or something, without improving much of the product, but just by improving, like, you know, escalating it by, yeah, but by selling it to other people. I mean, markets don't know what they want until someday someone comes up with a thing and tells them they want this or something. But how would you know? You do know search engine optimization and are a big thing. Like, search engine optimizations are a big thing. Platforms do want to be ranked, or like SEO has been a big thing for a long time at this point. We can pretty much say that for sure. But how would I know that? How would I know if something's gonna work or not? You're playing with massive uncertainty. You're playing with massive uncertainty. Poor Charlie Almanac. What does that book talk about? I need a better strategy than this strategy. Do you think the strategy is good or not? Like, that guy says that he earns like a, yeah. That means you need to find expensive problems that YouTubers or people like that pay, or kind of like consistently have those problems. So they constantly come because, yeah, or maybe you need to design a workflow or something, right?
Qu'on a utilisé, qui nous a permis de créer 2 SaaS, Pitchly et Hereditary, dont un qui a réussi à récolter plus de 15 000 téléchargements, et un autre qui a généré 4...
It's not even in my language. What the fuck that guy was saying?
और इसमें जो अपॉर्चुनिटी है वो इतनी इम्पोर्टेंट है कि अगर तुमने इसको
Shut up.
Hey, Tom, welcome to the channel. Tell me about who you are, what you built, and what's your story.
Hey everyone, I'm the founder of Packager. It's a browser-based tool that allows IT admins to deploy applications to a platform called Microsoft Intune with one click. And now we're making about 60K a month. As you can see here, we did 447K as opposed to 910K, which is really good growth for us, and we're really happy.
How do you find problems? At the end of the day, it's about finding good problems. That's it. That's it. You can know how hard it is to build something in advance. You can know how easy it is to build something. You can pretty much get data on how you can get everything. You need to find better problems, find good problems. That's it. And then learn the strategy. Yeah. It's not the strategy. It's not that business model. It's the problem. For example, you have a business model for real estate. For example, you're working in real estate, you have a model, okay, the price of the property goes up. The problem you're solving is crowded population. The more the people there are, the more the property we would need. That means the property prices are going to go expensive. The more immigration or migration there is, and the more people from different areas are going to come to your city, the chances of your city having less property that needs to be would increase, right? Like, yeah, there would be less property than it needs to be, and that's why, like, the price of the property would go up or something. So that's a problem, and you're solving the problem, and yeah, living like everyone faces this problem. They have to live somewhere, right? They have to live. A shop needs to be somewhere. A house needs to be somewhere. Everything needs to be somewhere. That's a problem you're solving. And then there's an entire strategy. How to earn money, how to get capital, and is that strategy is only workable if you have capital, and then there's only certain conditions, and those conditions, those strategies work. It's all the problem. Like, yeah, what kind of spikes uncertainty, and then there's a strategy to reduce that uncertainty. That's it. There's nothing else. It's not which that strategy works. It's not the idea. It's about what problem is there and what problem you can solve. That's it. That's literally it. There's a problem that you can solve with a lot of, and then after that, like how big the problem is, how recurring it is, the market size of the problem, people in that market who are having the problem are willing to pay for it, what the customer acquisition cost is, what the customer lifetime value is, manufacturing cost and complexity of that problem. Everything comes from the problem. We need to find a better problem now. It's money. Pretty much. You go on with hundreds of problems, and then you try to find out. We need to find. Oh yeah, this is the moat is nothing. Moat is finding the problem. The moat is finding the problem. Like, people are bored. They need games, and there's an entire market that's competing over getting into a crowded markets where people are already competing. Doesn't necessarily need to a monopoly. That's why you have these SaaS businesses, some small SaaS businesses that do some obscure work. Like, literally, look what the guy fucking said. Where that was that guy? He built fucking what? Where is that guy? The YouTube video that I just ran. The fuck? Oh yeah.
Who you are, what you built, and
see
what's
what
your
he
story.
said.
Hey everyone,
what he
I'm
built.
the founder of Packager. It's a browser-based tool that allows IT admins to deploy applications to a platform called Microsoft Intune with one click. And now we're making about 60K.
That's it. I don't know about I'm telling you, no one knows about MicroTune. No one knows about like people needed that thing, but there is a market for that, and it's a boring job. That's exactly what he said. There are some ideas that everyone is competing, everyone is fighting for, but there are some niche problems that everyone needs a solution for, but there's no one providing the problem because either the problem doesn't appear in the surface, either there's no market. So the point is the problem. If something, like, so for example, is YouTube a big market, a big thing, and you're fighting for workflows, you're fighting for this X, Y, and Z stuff, you won't be able to make money like this guy. I'm telling you, this packager for Intune is gonna earn money for years before any competitor comes into the picture. And I fight with the competitor. He doesn't even have a competitor because he's actually having a niche problem that only a few amount of people know. So the problem would never reach the masses. That's why finding the problem is far more exponentially more important, and finding a good problem that is easy to solve. Not a lot of people are solving it. The pain and recurrence of the problem is high. The market size is high, or at least good enough. The customer lifetime values is also high. The manufacturing cost and complexity is low. And the more obscure the problem is, the more the chances are easier to get to. Obscure problems that only few markets or very few people are targeting. At best, 1 or 2 people. Or we need to go to Reddit. Obscure problems. I need to use ChatGPT to know where do I find problems. ChatGPT, I think at the end of the day, it's about problems. like every strategy, there's hundreds of different strategies. There's hundreds of different ways to earn money. But the biggest advantage lies in finding problems before other people do, collecting evidence that the problem matters, distribution, everything comes later. Is it easy to distribute? Manufacturing cost and complexity, the more the competition. If you find a good problem that a lot of people are having, right? And if you have but then again, if you find a niche and obscure problem that a lot of people are having, but no one knows about it, no one is actually fixing it, like you're already in a good hand. But then again, in those niche and obscure markets, the problem is like you won't be able to know. Right. You won't be able to know like if the market demand is real or not, and then you can start hallucinating or something because you found a problem, but it's a very niche problem in the market or something. So you won't be able to know if if people even needs the solution or not, even if people even are looking up for the solution or not. But then again, you need to find ways to find good problems and validate those good problems. That's the all there is. Like that's literally all there fucking is. It's finding a problem and validate if it's not about the business itself, it's about finding the problems. The business in SaaS business, it's not building the product. Everyone can build. The AI is getting cheaper and cheaper. Like fuck, everyone can fill the websites now, solve problem, creates basic tools, and everyone are building it. In a couple of years the market is going to be bombarded with so many things. But the point is, how can you find the niche problems? How can you know that these niche problems matter or not, and how fast you can build? That's it. So could you tell me like how can I do that? Like how can I find problem? What are the platform or application to find problem as fast as possible, and how quickly can I solve them? Right. Not quickly can I solve them. That doesn't matter. Even if a problem takes a couple of months, doesn't matter. How can I find problems and how can I validate them? That's it. Reddit. What do I need to find the problems? Where are the most Quora or whatever, which is the platform that bombards with most I need a platform or maybe a website or service where I can actually get the data again and again over some people, and then I can do some research. Like first of all, there's a keyword searcher, which is what we call Ahrefs or something, Ahrefs, whatever that is called. This website allows you to search if people are searching for a keyword or not. So you can go onto some Reddit and you can find out some data. Right, this is a workflow. Finding a problem in itself is a workflow. You can gather some data and you can know that there are some problems that occur regarding this industry, and then you can use the Ahrefs to actually know, whatever this is called, to actually know how many people are actually searching a solution for that problem. So now you validate to at least a minimum a little bit, and then you can start building immediately, even if the manufacturing cost and complexity is no. The problem is you're actually finding solution for the problem where there's no problem, where there's obviously no solution at all. For example, I look for the webcam. I had a webcam and I thought, okay, what about something that actually checks the quality of a webcam? To find out there's already a couple of websites competing for it, and right. And then every basic things, like the normal things that are the related mouse, keyboard, monitors, every basic things. There's already a website for that. There's already a website for that. That's why I need niche markets, which are not I need to provide them. And these markets have you can go there and become dominant. You can be the first person rather than being the 100th person who's coming into the market or something. But then again, deployment, I need to ship faster. I need to deploy faster. I need to provide solutions faster. The real game is not. And finding if the best part is if those businesses are is it B2B or B2C? That's the main thing. If it's B2B or is it B2C? That's the biggest problem. If it's B2C, then you need to okay. If it's B2B, it's become even harder to actually reach the public. If it's B2C, then there's another thing you have to do. Entirely B2B can be easily accessed through LinkedIn. Right, you'll constantly find people who are doing B2B business there, but if it's B2C, then that becomes even harder. It's all about finding expensive problems. Expensive people complain about thousands of things, almost none of business. Is this annoying? Is this enough that people will constantly spend money or time to eliminate it? It's not ideas. Ideas are cheap. Complex. Customers, businesses are much better to target. This table looks ugly for a long time. It's not like I'm building anything right now. Businesses are way more likely to make money. A SaaS B2B works just so much better than a SaaS B2C. If they are customer even using, but I think SaaS B2B works just efficiently fucking far better. Because businesses already have capital and they would produce like or invest at least some of capital to solve their problems. Businesses do. Businesses stick with whatever the problem they're doing. They stick with the industry. They stick with whatever they're doing. A customer may come today, may come tomorrow, and then leave the next week. Like, fuck. The best sources are Reddit Goldmine. Okay. Reddit is a gold mine. Do I have a fucking Reddit account? I do have a Reddit account. I did that when my girlfriend fucked. The only thing that my girlfriend left with me was can't search Reddit because of what? Then fuck that. I'll just use my phone. But then again, I've blocked new. Okay, fuck. Then should I just download Reddit? Download Reddit. Windows. Yeah. We are downloading Reddit. ChatGPT says it's a gold mine. Chrome extension reviews. Yeah, wait a sec. We need to DNS. Open. It's already, we need to disable it. Wait a sec. It just, yesterday it didn't did that, but today it's doing that. I need to close all my fucking websites. Fuck that. Fuck no, I lost the data. Now I have to open up Edge again because of this stupid bitch. Block. Okay, so Reddit, we've already got the Reddit, we've already got the basic Reddit. Alright. This is just too much. Yeah, right. We've already got that. We already need to. Yeah, I think you arrived at one of the most important ideas in entrepreneur. The scarce resource is no longer the ability to build, the ability to discover valuable problems. I agree with that. Find a niche problem for every. The challenge ones not necessarily. Sometimes you won't ignore problems, not new problems. They are different. Example, invoicing is not a new problem. Expensive trial. Narrow audience. And discovery a pipeline. Find a plan. The Discord issues. It's not about this sucks. Search for this sucks. Every valuable problem is searched, right? Yeah. These are little Google search only, but still create businesses. We have Google Trends. We have to bookmark this Google Trends then. Instagram bio. My gym time is about to arrive. Google Trends breakout. 6 p.m. Yeah, so we have Google Trends. I didn't know we also had Google Trends, which is such a good thing. Google Keyword Planner. Why it's not working? It's not opening up. Ah, maybe it's my blocker hero. No, blocker hero doesn't have that capacity to block that. Ad block, urge to block? No. It's just not opening up. Well, that doesn't really matter that much. I think I want to go to shit. An outsider miss, yep. But finding good enough problem. And I think we need to add a couple of things, which is like current solution. Current solution. I think we need to add that to our case too. So for example, like yeah. Current solution. Current solution. And I think I have to end the stream today, but yeah.